Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Theo, Slick James Johnson, Paul, Flatten Earth, Bible Literalist, Arwin, Anon, 10th Man and Quantum Eraser. Very good to have you all.
Hello. I'd like to ask Anon a question, unless you're going to do housekeeping, Nathan.
I'm happy to dispense with housekeeping because there's a very good conversation going on. That, and I've also got a problem with the video I play in the background, so yeah, go ahead.
Well, I will say this, but since it's kind of a new show, and I will say this, it's kind of funny that we're having this conversation right before Easter. So I will say, as a Christian, kudos. But I would ask this. We've asked this question yesterday, and I don't think Anon really truly asked it, but I think I know, and this will relate to what Theo's saying, so don't think that I'm going off track. What evidence would you, to believe in a miracle, to believe something as a miracle would occur, what would be the standard of evidence that you would require, Anon, for that proof?
I don't believe in miracles.
Okay, so if you saw a miracle, you would automatically dismiss it because you don't believe in them.
Yeah, I would basically assume that it's a circus sideshow. You show me a miracle that is some, guy coming back to life, I'd say, okay, he was probably stung by that spider that reduces your heart rate to very, very, very low, and you couldn't hear it. Now you back up to life.
Okay,
or
so
if
then
you claim that if you claim there's that you said, oh, please God help me with wind, and then wind came and then it split the sea in half, and then you got to walk through it while your homies with all your friends, and then your enemies got washed off because right then the wind stopped blowing. Okay, that's just utter nonsense, as Nathan puts it. Nonsense.
All right, so wait a second. So he says he doesn't believe in miracles, right?
I don't want to talk to you.
Define
Seriously,
what
go
a
away,
miracle
man.
is.
You're just so annoying. I don't even want to.
Define what a miracle is.
We spend hours without you. Now you're back.
Then define what a miracle is.
Shut up.
You said you don't believe in miracles. I want you to define what a miracle is.
Bullshit, nonsense, fake.
Yeah, there
trick.
you go again. See, you're just a
and
clown
then
show.
you blame it on
You're
some
just a clown show.
Force
Define a miracle.
Okay, yeah.
Support your claim.
Yeah, I munch on crayons. That's all I do all day.
That's obvious.
I'm an Elmer Fudd. I'm an Elmer Fudd.
Listen, we don't need to
listen. I'll define it for you. I'll define it for you.
Okay.
A miracle can't be defined because there's no such thing.
That's sort of a circular reasoning, isn't it there, buddy?
Good one.
That's kind of circular, isn't it?
That's your life.
Yeah, that's right. So you said there's no miracle. So a miracle would possibly or probably be something that would go against nature, correct?
Sure.
Like I said, I made my statement. There's no such thing as a miracle.
Let's talk about life.
There is no such thing.
Right? I want
this
you
is the
to
first
tell
time
me
I'm going to
because the
agree with.
basis of life is
Hold
shut your pie
on. We
hole.
don't need three people talking at once. So there was a response,
Oh
John.
shit, Slick. Shut up, Slick. I'm not talking to you just yet. I'll get to you in a moment.
Hold on, John. So Anon did respond. He said there's no such.
Shut up, John.
He said there's no such thing. Let's keep this on track. Come on, be reasonable, people. Right. So Slick said there's no such thing. Not Slick. Sorry, Anon.
Yes,
So
and
Slick
I asked
said there's
him
no
what to
such thing, and
define
I
a
agree with
miracle.
him.
So
right?
You both
He has
spoke.
to define what there's no such thing is. So there's no such thing as what? You got to define that thing which is no such thing of, right?
You're
He's
just
talking-
using that as a diversion. Quiet down.
No.
Go pick up
No,
some
let's keep on
pants.
track.
No,
We're
that's
talking about
valid.
we're talking about miracles. Oh, God, we're talking about miracles. And Non says no such thing.
Yeah, sounds pretty retarded, right, Nathan? Miracles? Sounds stupid as hell.
Well, we got to define it first there, clown
Why
Joe.
aren't you getting on top of John? Why aren't you getting on this clown for
I
talking
don't have a
about
horse in this
miracles
race. I
as
don't
if
care
it's
either
somehow
way.
valid?
I'm trying to keep the tone civil. That's it. That's my
I
only
could put it
point.
like this. I could put it like
It's not gonna
this.
happen.
Miracles are about the equivalent of Santa Claus.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks for that,
and
Slick. That was
gravity.
very
Gravity,
scholarship,
Santa, and Christ,
scholarly
all in the same
defined.
pile.
Thank you. We could probably define a miracle
Quiet down,
as
clown.
something that goes against nature, right? Something that goes beyond the nature. Would that be fair?
Thermodynamics.
Would that be
Something that
fair?
violates thermodynamics,
Yes.
clown.
You don't even know
Santa-
what thermodynamics is. Shut up.
Yeah, apparently neither do you. Or
That
you're
triggers him.
using it to deceive us.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
But what?
Santa
it's
Claus
so
goes
funny.
against nature,
You're a
so that
friggin'
would
clown.
be an equivalent.
So something that goes against nature, right? And you don't believe in miracles. Okay, so all life is based on DNA, right? I want
Well,
you
that's
to
you
give
talking.
me. I want
don't
you
know
to
what
give
DNA
me.
is.
Hold on,
Quiet.
Slick. I'm not done talking yet.
My DNA.
So yeah,
DNA is
DNA.
not
All
software.
life is based. See, they won't let me talk. That's the only tactic they
You're
have.
trying to deceive everyone with
Because
this
you're a
DNA
clown show.
argument, saying
That's
that
all you
DNA
are.
is programming.
Elmer Fudd
DNA
that should be
is
picking up
the
cans
radiance of
alongside
Earth.
of the road. You can't shut up. You're like a baller.
You first.
I'm going to treat you like
first,
ballers
loser.
now.
Oh,
you
God.
got baller
Okay,
Tourette's.
hold on. So, did we get a definition of miracle?
Of course not.
They've not come to
'Cause they're
consensus
tap
on it. I agree with
dancing.
John.
They're doing the Ali
They did
rope-a-dope
already. You
because the
guys
clown.
just missed it.
Go ahead, Non.
That wasn't me. That was Theo. He said something.
Yeah. Anon already explained what his interpretation of a miracle is. You guys completely missed it because you're too busy on your steamroll.
Sorry, Anon.
I missed it too.
Apparently, I missed it too. I just what I was saying is, if it's against nature, is that? But that's what John
Well,
is
Anon,
saying.
what you said.
How
What you
about
said
an extra dimensional?
Hold on,
interface?
Arwen. Oh, God. Go ahead, Theo.
What Anon said when he was being pressed was, it's something that's impossible within our reality. So it's an impossibility within the reality we exist. So from there, you have to define what is his boundaries of reality. What does he think reality is? Is it purely physical mechanistic processes? Is consciousness present? All of these parameters.
But I'm a bit confused now. If that's Anon's definition, my understanding would be that would be semi-correct, right? Because it's not supposed to be possible within our reality, if you want to use the word reality.
Right. Well, let me give a baseline for a reality in which some things could never happen. For example, a purely materialistic worldview. There's no such thing in that as consciousness. There's no such thing in that as spirits. There's no such thing in that as extra dimensional entities, etc.
Oh, like the Globers have.
Any of those things to exist in that reality.
Like the atheists have. Shout out to Chow Yun Fat Cat for the super chat. Really appreciate your support.
So my question to him, going way back to where his points first got starting derailed, is he made an analogy between God stepping into reality to converse with his creation as a computer programmer trying to converse with his video game. And immediately there's a paradoxical difference between a sentient entity and a video game entity. Isn't that the case? So my question would be, do you believe that a human being is the same as a video game character? Or do you believe
You
a
think-
human being is a sentient soul?
Are you talking about simulation?
No, I'm talking about a human being. What is a human being?
Human being is it's basically a meat machine that has input and output. Input is the sensory, output's shit and piss. And
Okay, correct.
the other
Correct interpretation of
Hold
worldview.
on. Hold on.
Wow.
Hold on.
Sounds like a
Hold on.
spider.
Hold on. Can everyone
Whoa.
stop? Right. So you're saying Just
I'm taking this guy
Computer.
somewhere, John. If you want to wreck my train with a grenade, then quit being an ass.
Thank you.
Who you talking to?
I agree
son?
with Theo on this one.
Who
Okay,
you
Now-
talking
so
to?
hold on.
Okay,
Anon's
set up
last
some
point.
baselines from which we can go forward. So now me and Anon are going to go forward. Anybody else wants to get in the way, they're just being an ass.
I agree. Carry on, Theo.
All right, so Anon, can you say
sir.
what you believe a human is again, and then I'll reply.
Basically, it's a meat machine, right? It's a processing unit. It has inputs and it has outputs. The inputs are your sensory, and then your brain is the processing unit. It processes the information. It makes logical decisions. And I don't know how it became, self-aware at some point. Are dolphins self-aware? I don't know. And then you have outputs. And the output is, you know, getting pissed and thoughts and voice. Just it's a processing unit. That's essentially what I think of it as.
Okay, so you threw something in there, which is you don't understand how it became self-aware. So throw that out there
Well-
and ask personally. Ask that personally. Are you self-aware?
Yes, human beings are self-aware.
Okay.
Dolphins
So-
maybe are self-aware.
So
Monkeys maybe.
the confirmation of self-awareness for yourself is what? How do you know you're self-aware?
When you start asking questions about who I am, where I come from, what am I doing? That's essentially,
Okay.
I think, what a
So would you agree that your consciousness is having an experience? That's verifiable.
my consciousness is having an experience. I mean, sure, it's a legitimate sentence. Yeah,
Oh, you know for a fact you're a conscious entity.
I know for a fact that I'm a conscious. Yeah, I mean, all human beings, for the most part, are conscious
Okay.
entities, unless
Okay,
you're
now,
in some sort of a ICU.
right. So now, what we have just done is disproven materialism. Philosophically, for a sentient entity to exist, a conscious thought is not a physical construct. It is something beyond physicality.
It's information, right? So, like saying, when you
A
use a just
computer is information. A book is information.
computer.
Can a book read itself?
No,
Right. But you can think about your own thoughts, correct?
correct.
So you are light years above on the echelon of things above a book. There's something about
Yes.
you that is very unique to any other information system, and that is the consciousness inside.
About all life. Yes,
Oh, yeah,
I
even
don't
life
claim
itself. Yes.
I don't claim for a minute that we are anywhere near artificial intelligence or how sentience and we're gonna do all this stuff in like 5 years. I don't think that. I think there's something special about life.
Hey.
About
So do you believe, since you mentioned artificial intelligence, you believe in the limitations of entropy and thermodynamics, etc., correct?
yeah, of course.
Okay, so
The laws.
right. So what we know as humans in our experience is that there's nothing that spontaneously comes into existence more complicated than something previous. Everything comes from something above it. That's entropy. Informational entropy, logical entropy, energy entropy.
Yes.
Agree with that?
Or something could, like Flatner says, this could always have been. That's something is hard to wrap my head around, but I give it a value. I give it enough attention. I give it enough, credence. Make it a plausible option where it's like it's always been.
Okay, so let me change it. Would you ever believe that something simple could result in something more complex? Like a
Some-
fragment of information could then produce other information spontaneously.
No,
Right. So you do actually believe in entropy from the top down, not from the bottom up, correct?
sure. If you put it that way, yeah.
Okay, so conclusion of your sentient mind being a non-material entity, right? That means that logically, from entropy,
It's not quantifiable.
there are greater consciousnesses than your own, from which your consciousness came to be, because your consciousness did not come to be from your material body.
Yeah, but then that creates a problem in which you can either say everything existed, or you can say, okay, then who created the creator?
I don't even care about that at this point. What I'm getting
I know you
at,
don't, but that's part of it.
I
It's
do.
background
Sorry,
from something.
I know you
way
don't
down the
care.
line.
Sorry, got to
Way down
interrupt
the-
there. Sorry, that's an infinite regress fallacy. So
Exactly.
just want to address that quickly, just so it isn't
Right, but-
left
No,
out there.
no, because I think
Besides
what
my
Theo is
point-
saying that I think what
I'm not
Theo
talking
is trying
about-
It's not.
whatsoever.
Hold on, let me explain.
Sorry,
I
I've
think
got to
what
do this to
Theo
you,
wants-
Non. You've hijacked the end of his point. He was right at the conclusion too.
No, because I knew exactly where he was going, and I told you. So yeah, because just because that I agree with the fact that something more, something bigger created me. That doesn't make me think that okay, there must have been something bigger that created the bigger guy who created me.
But that's
And
a
then
contradiction in
it's
terms.
not a,
You've just,
Hey,
sorry,
that's not
Anon,
the point.
Anon, you've been led so beautifully that now you've just contradicted yourself in one sentence. Beautifully done, Theo.
ow.
Well, you said he's taking
I-
you
I
down
can
it with
check myself.
the top-down entropy to get you to concede that there is something beyond your consciousness. You've conceded it and then said, but I don't believe there's something beyond my consciousness. That's a contradiction.
No, I never said there's not something above my consciousness. I said there might be something above my consciousness, but there's always something above that, and then there's something above that.
No, you then
'Cause
stated
if
the
you can
ontological
do that,
primitives.
You can do that.
Hold
Or
on.
you can say it's always been here.
You then stated the ontological primitives and an infinite regress fallacy. That was your address to it.
Okay, so we've established that his position is not coherent. That's fine, but I want to get to a different point. Okay, and that is
Yeah,
the
and
nature.
I don't
Valid.
share Anon's point of view. Mine is slightly different.
And
I
so
don't
is
think you can
mine.
corner me. You can't corner me
We'll
into
get
it.
to the
like
both of
can
you
Anon.
later.
'Cause
Okay,
I don't believe in
fine.
a creator.
Earth
Go ahead.
Flattener and Slick. And probably John.
Go ahead, Flatner.
Oh, you betcha.
No. Just let Theo round out his point and then
My
Earth
point-
Flattener
Getting
first.
kind of tedious.
That's fine. That's fine. Let Theo go.
All right, so the point I was trying to get to had nothing to do with creation whatsoever. What I'm trying to get to is the understanding of our reality as it presents itself today. So I got him to concede that the consciousness point. Okay, so reality is more than the physical world. That is my point. Therefore, things that occur beyond the physical world, which science cannot attest to, can occur. That's my point.
Cool. Okay. Big shout out to Descartes. And on to you, Earth Flattener.
All right. So I don't think there is a creator. I don't think there is a consciousness. And I think everything has always just been here. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. That's a thermodynamics violation. And so
Oh,
it just makes
God.
sense. Shut up, crayon muncher,
Oh,
idiot.
God.
Go
Oh,
pick up
God.
some cans.
That was
Quiet
your
down.
fault, John. I blame you
Oh,
for that.
And
great argument. It's a great
now,
argument.
don't forget about me. I'm next in line.
Fine. We've heard that
Oh,
point.
I got you, Slick.
We've had that point
Yeah, go,
before.
Theo.
It's been addressed
What do you
before, so
think,
fine.
Theo?
I'm happy to
Let me
move on
deal
to
with
Slick.
let me deal with Slick because Earth Flat.
Okay, now, my
his
statement- my
arguments and stuff.
It's my
So,
turn.
Slick
My-
said,
Can we
hold on, I
finish
haven't
the
made
Hold
my
debate?
on.
statement
No,
yet.
John,
let's-
come on, John.
Hold on, Owen. I'm happy for Slick to restate his position. John, Slick, fine. If you can just
Now,
not talk over each
now,
other.
It's my turn to make the statement and you can respond. Now, I can't verify a conscience that's greater than mine.
So you do verify that you have a conscience.
Of course.
All right.
Okay,
Flatner thinks he has no
well,
conscience.
wait a second, Arwen. Is your name John?
Nope. But I want to say my 5 seconds to
You got it,
Go
you got it
ahead,
in.
Arwen.
It's all good. He's got it in. Yeah, Owen's done. I think. You got his piece in.
Hey,
Yes.
John, real quick, John. Arwen said something about what that other guy asserted, but I think Arwen was mistaken. I didn't think he was saying he has no consciousness. I just think he was saying there's no greater consciousness. So the two other guys, Slick and the other guy, I think they both agree that they both have conscious, but there's no greater conscious verifiable.
But you led Anon so beautifully in that regard when you talked about entropy coming from top down.
No,
I don't
a flat
believe in
earth is
entropy
clear.
as defined. I think entropy is just on a local level. I believe
Anyway.
entropy is just on a local level, but as far as
That's
the
a
sun,
special pleading
it
fallacy.
has always been here. Shut up, John.
Clown.
That's
Let's get back
bizarre.
to Slick.
Slick, feel free
Oh,
to
it's bizarre,
restate
it's
your
Christ
statement. This
coming
is
back
going
to
off the
life.
rails
I mean,
far
are
more
you
than
serious?
normal.
Yes, I will
People
restate it
come back to
again
life all the time these
as
days.
soon as he's done. I can't verify a consciousness greater than mine.
I just want to say something quick and then I got to go. I know you'll all cry, but I have to go. This is a philosophical argument. It's not a scientific argument. So any claims anyone makes is purely their opinion and not a demonstrable fact.
Well,
If
that's
somebody doesn't
incorrect.
wanna-
I'm going to give a scientific argument here in a second.
All right. Well, the thing
Absolutely,
is
Bible literate.
that this
I agree.
is, yeah, this is all the realm of probability now. And someone can believe that something is improbable or impossible if they want. That doesn't make it true. And if they argue that something doesn't happen now, that it never happened, that's very fallacious as well. And it amounts to the whole naturalism, supernaturalism argument is that it's why I illustrate as like using a body temperature thermometer to measure an oven. Okay, you got two choices when you do that because the thermometer is going to be pegged. Okay, so the oven is 500 degrees and the thermometer only goes up to maybe 105 Fahrenheit. And so you're going to conclude one of two things. Either A, you need a different scale, or B, that the oven doesn't get hotter than 105. And that's essentially that second option is what naturalism does. It is self-limiting. It says that because I can't scientifically prove something, therefore it cannot be true. And so that means you can neither prove nor falsify supernaturalism, neither one, which means you can't say there is no God, there is no higher intelligence, there is no this, there are no miracles, because those are things that naturalism can never prove or disprove. And that's all I have to say. I got to go. Thanks, Nathan, for having me on.
Thank you.
Yep,
What a pleasure.
every conversation today
Right.
has been philosophical or faith-based, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly from you.
Okay, John's been waiting patiently to
Quiet.
address Slick for a while, so go ahead, John.
Yeah, Slick. Yeah, I'm not concerned with his first comment here. He's on board with Anon and IQ Flattener with, well, why couldn't everything just always exist? Because he said it the other day, and that's Anon and Earth Flattener's friggin' mantra, right? Well,
Just a
that's a
crayon
laws
mantra.
of thermodynamics violation. Do you need me to explain to you why?
I think that's addressed to Earth Flattener.
No, let's address the Slick. I have
Oh, my
enough
bad.
Earth Flattener. You can't
You
even
don't have to
breathe
ask.
on
You
his
don't have
own.
to ask me any questions. Just make your point.
Well, you said that why couldn't everything like the universe always exist? Well, because it's a laws of thermodynamics violation. So let's go through it real quick. The first law states that nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Do you agree with that?
Go on, make your point.
Second law of thermodynamics, the amount of available energy is running out. That means entropy from a high state or low entropy to a higher entropy, right? Does that follow?
Listen, just make your point.
If the total amount of matter or energy is constant and the amount of usable energy is decreasing, then the universe will end.
You said if.
Ipso facto, it had a beginning.
You said if.
If I said
Doesn't
if.
make it so.
If the
Found
total
untrue.
amount, yeah, because the if statement is conditioned on the first law of thermodynamics that I just stated.
Yeah, it
Nature or
doesn't have to
natural
apply
law
to the sun.
cannot create or destroy matter or energy. So if that's the case, and then the second law is the case also, that's what the if means. Clown show.
Yeah,
Now,
matter
if
can't
I-
be created nor destroyed. It's very simple. And the
Right,
That's what I
society has
said.
always
That's
been
the
here.
if statement. That's the precondition.
Hold
This
on,
was
who's-
addressed to Slick, and everybody
I was
stopped
going to say,
interrupting.
this was addressed
Right.
to
So
Slick.
I can respond to that if you don't mind.
Sure.
Now, my reason for understanding and resonating with the always existed theory is because energy cannot be created or destroyed. Now, I'm not stating that as a fact, but if that is a fact, that means that everything had to have always existed. It couldn't have come into existence out of nowhere.
No.
Now,
That's
okay,
right.
do you want to finish
You're
for me?
missing it.
Now, do
Hold
you
on,
want to
John.
finish for me
Hold
or
on,
what?
John.
Do you want to finish for
Oh,
me?
God. Slick, I'll do it for you. John, just let him get to the end of his statement. He's nearly done.
Now, that's one of the things. And the other item is that it also solves the chicken and egg problem, because with this something having a beginning, this question always comes up, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The always existed theory solves both of those problems. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a laws of thermodynamics violation, like I just told you. Number one, the laws of thermodynamics
creation,
are natural. Hey, Nathan, can you shut that clown up? Thank you. The laws of thermodynamics are natural laws. What comes first, Slick? The law or the lawgiver?
Listen, I don't know if you have a point to make, John, just make your point. Don't ask me any questions.
What comes first, Slick? Law or the lawgiver?
Why don't you just make your point? Don't ask
The
me. Make your point.
lawgiver comes first, then the law. You're in the wrong category. And you're standing in direct contradiction of the laws of thermodynamics.
Hold on.
I'm gonna kick you. Shut up.
So basically, John is saying is magic.
Jesus Christ. How loud are you and on?
I'd like a response to my argument from Slick.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get to hear it. Say it again, please.
I was going to say, if you can repeat it, John, Earth Flattener, after Slick's done, feel free to pipe up.
What comes first, the law or the lawgiver?
Listen, you're asking me a question that I don't even resonate with. So just tell me. Don't ask me, because the question makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sam
he's a
first
little
grade
soft.
can reconcile.
Okay, after Slick.
No, he's
a
not
little-
done yet. Clown show.
Okay. So laws
He's not done
apply
yet.
to whoever the laws are given to. You can't give laws to the sun because you have no idea what it is. Go back to
thank
sleep,
you.
John. Go have some
Okay.
breakfast. You're an idiot.
So the total amount of mass or energy in the universe is constant. That means nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Notice
That's
I
right.
stated
It's always
nature
been
or
here.
natural
That's right.
law.
It's always been here.
Shut
Yes.
up. Not done yet. Notice I stated that the laws of
confirming what you said.
thermodynamics
Oh, God,
are
why are you
natural-
rumpusing him?
Yeah.
Why are you...
He won't
Earth
do it.
Flattener, why are you rumpusing him? You're making the
You
conversation
shut up. I'm gonna
incoherent.
kick you.
Now you're rumpusing
Nathan, you
me.
should be the one stopping
That's
him.
all he
not
can.
I'm
me.
trying to
That's all
stop
you
you. I've said to you, after they're done, when Slick and John are done, I didn't say and John, admittedly that might have been confusing, but I'm just saying once this discourse is
No,
over...
I'm not confused. You guys are the one that are confused. You should be stopping him from talking about this magic BS, Nathan, not me.
He's not. He's saying, in terms of the idea that it can all be here from the beginning, is a violation of that law.
Yeah, and creating it, matter can't be created or destroyed, so a creator would be a violation of that. I don't
That's
know
a
why
natural law. You're
why
a
just
clown.
asleep
You're
about that.
categorically in the wrong. You're in the wrong category. You're a moron. We already went over this 30 times. You still
And
don't get
I'd like
it.
to make a comment whenever I
Natural
get a chance
law.
about that.
A law
Right?
that's applied to whatever it can be applied to. You can't apply laws to the sun.
Oh, here we
Nathan
go with
may
the
be
sun
scared
again.
of you, but I'm not scared of you, John. You're an idiot.
Can I have an attempt? You've got two choices. These are the ontological primitives. You're saying there's a third choice. But in the third choice, it's actually choice one. Everything from nothing. Which violates the second law.
It's not nothing. Everything has
Right.
always been here. I don't know why you're asleep in this.
He
I don't know
keeps
why
on
to
saying it.
constantly repeat it,
Yeah.
Nathan.
It's too
Okay,
long.
no worries. No problem.
Sorry if it's
No
a bit
problem. Earth Flattener,
confusing
I
that
heard you the
everything has
first
always been
time.
here.
I heard you the
Sorry,
first
Nathan.
30
Thank
times,
you.
but you won't shut up whenever you finish your statement. You carry on and on, saying the same thing 5 more times.
Yeah,
You
he's got
don't
Baltar
understand it. You
Tourette's.
keep-
That's what
you keep
Baltar's do.
referring to
Yeah,
the Big Bang
I'm
to me.
trying
You
to
keep referring
actually
to
address it.
everything.
This
Hey,
has been
Flatner,
covered.
relax.
Just relax.
You sound really distorted on your phone, and it's hard to hear. Anyway,
And you're annoying.
No, no need.
No, I agree with him. It's just your
please,
sound is very distorted.
of
It's very
God.
difficult to hear.
Now Anon's super
All right, I'll get
loud.
another headset.
Jesus. Right.
I know.
This was covered before. I've forgotten what was covered before because of all the rumpusing. Sorry. So everything from nothing is a violation. So if you stick with the first one, you're saying that no, it was always here. But the beginning has to have been. This was explained. I just can't remember the explanation now. John, can you repeat it? Because I've forgotten.
Yeah, it's a play on the first and second laws of thermodynamics. It's real easy. Nature and natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy, and energy is getting more disordered or running out. So it has to have a beginning, and it goes back to the
That's
two
in a closed
ontological
system.
premise.
No,
Right,
it's,
and
it's
that's-
Oh
nature.
my
Nature
God.
can do it, not something outside of nature, which is the
Yeah, that's just
creator.
on a local level that the laws apply. It doesn't have to apply to the
That's a
sun.
special pleading
So
fallacy.
entropy
The
doesn't have
laws
to
on the
apply to the
local
sun.
level.
You don't even know what the sun is, Flatner.
Right.
Yeah.
So it,
So
the
how
laws
can
can't
you
apply
say
to it.
Let's get back on
that it's
track.
not
How would
included
you
if you
know
don't
if they
even know
apply
what
to
Hold
it
it
or
on.
is?
not?
I just want to hear Arwin.
So you can't exclude the sun because you don't know what it is.
Yes, we should all just say we don't know. But you guys are acting
Wrong.
like
That's an
the
argument
laws of
from ignorance fallacy.
thermodynamics are scientifically sound, but they're not.
Oh, they're
Because they
not.
don't
Then
apply
show a
to the
second law
sun.
of
Anything in the
thermodynamics
natural
violation.
world,
You're
what
just
we can
presupposing
confirm
that
is
the
physical
laws-
and
Hold on.
natural
Hold
does
on.
fall
Hold
in
on.
the law of
Are you?
thermodynamics.
Hold on, Arwin. Sorry. Earth Flattener. Are you saying the laws don't hold true?
I'm just saying that you're presupposing that they apply to the sun. I'm not saying that they don't apply on a local level. Entropy may just reach as far as local, what we know, but it may stop there and it could come back.
That's the
We
point.
don't know that.
That's
You
the
don't know
point.
what the
Sorry,
sun
hold
is.
on. Hold on. John, can you just say the same thing you said again for a third time, but put the emphasis on the word nature?
Yeah, nature or natural law cannot create or destroy matter or energy. Nature or natural law goes from high concentration to low concentration, high gas pressure to low gas pressure. That's entropy, right? And his appeal is a special pleading fallacy.
But before you attack his appeal, which I agree with, do you understand the point? So when you refer to what we experience, that's why they're natural laws.
Yes,
I
but
disagree
they
with John
only
just said. though.
Hold on, Slick. Sorry, go on, Flatner.
Yes, but the entropy law may only apply on a local level.
Yeah, that's the
Because-
point.
Okay, so you
Special
just
pleading.
proven a miracle.
But that's the point. We're talking about what we experience on a natural level, and
We have
that
proof
is
of a miracle.
that
We have
but that
proof
would
of a
be.
miracle on the
No,
table.
you're saying that entropy is going to make the world end. Everything is going to end, right?
But that's just what we
Universe
experience.
will
It's a
end.
natural law. That's the point.
That's not a. It shouldn't be a natural law because we don't know if that's what's going to happen to the sun.
You don't know if the sun falls into the category of natural. You don't even know what it is.
His argument is a special pleading fallacy to cite something as an accepted to generally accepted law. That's the textbook definition of special pleading. Next. Go ahead, Slick.
You're pleading a creator. What's the difference?
Go ahead, Slick.
Creator falls outside of natural law.
Yes, outside
Exactly,
because you
Arwin,
don't
you
need
got it.
You don't need it on Earth. Exactly.
But your appeal to it always being here already is a nature-based appeal, Flat and Earth.
Yes,
Hey.
because matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
So your argument falls on its face based on that statement. I don't
doesn't
see why you're
realize
not
it.
getting this. That's where your position falls flat on its face.
Why?
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yeah.
you missed something.
Go on. Go on, Theo.
He put the sun outside of entropy, which means it's the source of the increased energy required to continuate the system, which would necessitate the sun being an infinite energy source, which is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics, which is by itself a miracle. So he just proved
It's a
You
miracle.
don't know where the energy of the sun is derived
No,
from.
no.
It could
Oh,
be
God,
literally
don't
hold on,
exactly
hold on.
on the Earth.
No,
Get off the
hold on.
sun.
Can I
Point is,
just?
he's
Sorry,
telling
it's
it's
gone
infinite.
chaos again. 5 people talk after one statement. Right. So I don't think that's necessarily destroying his own argument because he's saying that or Arwen's backing him up in this, is saying, well, if you don't know what the sun is, it may violate the law. We don't know. Is that correct,
No.
Flat and Earth?
No, I'm
If
not saying
entropy
that.
Not you,
doesn't
Arwen.
apply,
Not you, Arwen.
No.
Flat and Earth.
No, but you're saying something that I wasn't stating.
Not you. Flat and Earth.
Yeah, I don't know if he's agreeing with me, but yeah. Seems like he is, but he says he's not.
No, I'm not agreeing. I'm saying you don't know what it is. So to claim that it is an ever increasing amount of energy introduction is a claim based on no facts at all. You don't even know what it is. So what I'm proposing is no. I think the energy for the sun that is introduced in the world is probably in some way subtracted as well.
Arwen, you're
Where
missing
are
the
we
point.
at? Come on, people.
Well, I know personally, I don't think John is an authority on the law of thermodynamics.
It doesn't
Okay, why
matter.
is that?
Position of the sun being outside and being the source of the energy is
Hold on a second.
self-contradictory.
Slick made a claim. Why is that, Slick?
Because I just don't think you are. You think that just because you state what the law of thermodynamics is, that all of a sudden that you speak with some type of authority. I don't think you do.
Yeah, well, you don't think I do because why? You didn't give a reason or rationale why. Do you know what the laws of thermodynamics are? Give me the second law of thermodynamics, son.
Well, listen, I know that you're not an authority. Just because you
How do
say
you
something
know?
and you pound, listen, are
How
you
do
going to
you
let
know
me
or do you
answer
believe?
for me? I'll tell you
How
what,
do
you can answer
know
for
or
me.
do
Go
you
ahead.
believe?
You can answer for me.
How do you know or do you believe I'm not authority?
Like I said, you proclaim yourself that for some reason that you're an authority on the second law of thermodynamics.
Yes.
I'm pretty
That's right.
sure that there's a, let me finish, please, if you're not afraid. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
I'm not
there's
afraid of you, Slick. I'm going to jack you yard here in a second.
Yeah, I bet you are.
You
So
bet
anyway,
I am, son.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sure you believe that you know all there is to know about the second law of thermodynamics, but I'm willing to bet that you don't.
Okay, how much you betting?
Hold on, let's not have this childish nonsense. What's the yardstick we're going to apply here, Slick?
Well, the point I'm making is that he's speaking like he's an authority on the second law of thermodynamics, and he isn't.
Based on what? Nuh-uh.
No, based on that, I'm not going to sit up here and let you make that claim. And just because you speak with an authoritative tone, like that's supposed to mean something, it doesn't mean anything. You're
I've
just
explained
talking.
and already
Let me
established
finish,
that
please,
I know
unless
the
you're
second law of
afraid.
thermodynamics.
Unless you're afraid. Now, you're just a regular Joe.
I'm not
just
afraid
talking.
of you, Slick.
Oh,
You fucking
here we go.
clown.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. You clown. Back up your statement that I don't know what the second law of thermodynamics is.
What I said was that you are not an authority on a second law of thermodynamics.
How
just
do you
because
know?
Oh, here we go. This guy just can't contain it. So are you triggered, John? Why are you so
all right,
triggered?
let me intervene. Both of you.
No, I get triggered.
Hold on, let me intervene.
Slick
John,
James, you're
Slick,
basically
Arwen,
telling
let me
him like he
intervene. Hold
doesn't know
on.
what he's talking about.
Arwen, right. So, Slick, you've just repeated yourself. So you're saying, how do you know that he's not an authority? So rather than just saying, I don't think you're an authority, you can't make those statements. How do you actually justify that?
I justify it because there's a lot of resources on the second law of thermodynamics. His mouth is not the only authority. There's up there, I'm sure the second law is written in places with volumes and volumes of information. Him cherry picking and stating his case is not his, that doesn't mean anything. That's just him cherry picking. There's more to the second law. Could you shut up, please?
What did I cherry pick,
Ridiculous
clown?
statement. He's not cherry picking at all. He's
Would
just
you shut up too,
stating the law.
Arwen? You too. Just
Yeah,
be quiet.
you're
I
just
know
making
you're
basic
triggered.
assertions,
I know
right?
this
Be
hurts.
concise.
Okay, right, both of you. Hold on, let's try again. Let's try again. Let's try again. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I know it hurts.
Hold on, God.
John.
Can I
Yeah,
get
I know
control,
it hurts.
please? Right. So, Slick, I'll let you make the end of your statement, but when you do, after you end your statement, can you just tell us what is cherry picking? So go ahead, Slick, and only Slick, but afterwards, please address what's been cherry picked. Thanks.
Thank you. Right. What I'm saying is that John is just making statements. The second law of thermodynamics is a lot more than what he is just talking. Just because he makes a statement, that's not the end all of the second law of thermodynamics. That's the only point that I'm making. He is not the sole authority on the second law. He's just talking.
Okay, that's kind of just repeating the exact same thing again, Slick. But hello, is it Merle? How you doing? Can you hear us?
Hey up, Nathan. Yeah, just tuning in.
Good to have you. So, John, can you respond to that? Hopefully, without
Respond to
interrupting.
what? He didn't support any of his claims. He just said nuh-uh. Now, what's the cherry pick? I want to know what the cherry pick is. He charged me with that. What is that? Do you even know what cherry picking is?
Now, maybe you missed my point. Maybe I'll try to say it a little bit.
You charged me.
I'll try to say it just a little bit more concise.
In the second law of thermodynamics. Now, support your charge and don't repeat the same shit you just said.
Oh, well, you didn't hear me, so apparently
I
need to
heard
repeat
you.
it again.
He did hear you.
Okay, so respond then.
So, Slick, okay, hold on, John. Hold on. So, what's being asked of you is you've said cherry picking, which I know gets John's goat. So, you're going to get him frustrated if you don't actually say, well, give a specific example, maybe, of a cherry picked thing from the second law.
Yes, I've answered the question. What I'm saying is this: John think that he is the gateway
He's just going
to
to
the
repeat the
second
same
law.
shit again.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I'll tell you what. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Yeah, you are done. You're a clown. You don't even know what the second law is. Just like that knucklehead IQ flattener.
Don't go anywhere.
What is the second law of thermodynamics, Slick? That's what I thought. No further questions.
Hope you're all enjoying the show in the audience.
Like I said, if I can't make a statement without getting talked over,
no further questions.
See, that's what happens when people get triggered. See, they can't stand it.
It's very,
it gets very painful. So what happens is as soon as you start talking, they start talking over you. See, notice as soon, Nathan, if you notice, as soon as I started talking, they started talking over me. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I'll try and calm it down once more, Slick. But that's your own fault. So you've claimed he's cherry picked, and then you've not given a single example. So you're going to get rumpused. That's just how it goes, isn't it?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's forget about the word cherry pick. Can we do that? Let's get that out of the vocabulary.
Okay, hold on.
Here we go again. See what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And I'm trying to keep control for you.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep control for you. But that was your only example of him not being an authority on the second law. So do you have another example?
It's okay when the fundies rump us, but when I do it, it's a problem, right, Nathan?
Right.
Well, you've got not anymore, but you had the worst mic, and you do it after one word. In this instance, Slick hasn't given an example.
But Anon said that he got my point regardless of my shitty mic.
Yeah, we did get your point, and everyone shut up so we could hear it.
But you told me not to rump us, but you're not telling these idiots not to rump us because it's on the fundy side.
You're rumpusing
Not at all. I would like to believe I'm being very even-handed in my approach here. So,
no, you're not.
I'm sorry you feel hard done by. I haven't tried to.
Good cop,
I really wish you were. I really wish you were, Nathan. I just don't see how you don't see through the bullshit that John spews, especially with his quantum array. Oh, here we go.
John, it's obvious.
What?
It's really strange, actually.
Oh, poor baby.
You guys are all you guys are acting like a bunch of young teenagers whining at their teachers.
Okay,
I'm
just saying that Nathan should keep the same standard of bullshit when it comes to.
Oh God! Rather than this turning, hold on.
I think he's
Stop!
kind of an
Stop!
But I'm not saying he is wrong.
Right, this has gone. This has gone from. There's a tabled question not answered. What is the second law?
Now, I was trying to make a point, but as soon as I start talking, I started getting rumpus, so I never got to finish.
Yeah, the reason that happens,
if I could just finish, just let me finish, please, and then join
Finish
in.
what? You just said it 4 times.
I was going to say you've made the same
Let
point.
me say it a 5th time.
Well, no.
Let me say it one more time.
Why would we let you say it a 5th time, Slick?
Listen, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you your permission, Arwen. I'm not talking to you. Now, apparently, you're scared because this hurts.
We heard it
this
4 times
hurts.
already.
Yeah, I know. It hurts. It hurts. I know.
Cherry picking.
It hurts.
Hold on. We've got an even more annoying guest.
I get it.
Need to say hello to our new guest.
Hang on. Look, I'm not an expert on this, but the second law of thermodynamics is entropy. Yes?
Yeah, what's entropy?
Entropy is the state It says here, I'm not an expert, where in all energy exchanges, if no energy enters or leaves the system, the potential energy of the state will always be less than that of the initial state.
Right. The energy in the system is always running out. Well put. Where did you cite that from, just so we know?
Just thermodynamics, second law of it on Google.
Perfect. Shout out to Logan Cook for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed.
Shout out to Gravity.
Okay, so now we've got a definition of what the second law is. It's a very simple explanation. Nevertheless, why would John not understand that, Slick?
Well, it's not that I'm saying he doesn't understand it. The point that I made, and I was very clear, is that he is not the authority. There's more information about the second law than what he's just stating. What he is doing is that he's containing the second law of thermodynamics to his statements only, and anything outside of that is not allowed.
What?
I
That
agree.
doesn't make any
I agree.
sense.
It makes sense to me. I agree.
That's a
Yeah,
non-statement.
it would make sense to you. You don't have a clue on what it is either.
Yeah, go pick up some cans on the side of the road. Quiet down.
Look, there may be other ways to use the laws of thermodynamics in philosophy and all kinds of things, but that doesn't make how John applies it cherry picking or wrong.
Can I make
Doesn't
a
make any
comment?
damn sense.
Nobody
Can I make a
asked you.
comment?
Does.
I don't care, Slick James. I'm talking. You don't have to respond to me.
Wasn't the challenge like what makes him an expert, and is he really an expert, and la la la?
Yes.
That was gonna be my
No,
address. If I
that
could make a
wasn't it.
statement
That
about
wasn't it.
Hold
That
on.
wasn't the thing at all, but go ahead.
Well, go ahead, Paul.
Well, I mean, I remember there's a scene from I don't know if this is going to sound weird, but that Nathan's using before. I think I'll use one. Remember my cousin Denny, where Melissa Tomei was on the stand and she was supposed to be an expert in automotive mechanics, but she was a hairdresser. Remember that story?
Oh God.
Oh, well, wait a minute. But my point, there's a point I'm going to make. So John, don't. It's actually to your side, to your understanding. What made her an expert is because she fully understood auto mechanics. She may not have been, her profession at that moment was not hairdresser or was not a mechanic, but she had enough information, enough knowledge so that she was an expert in auto mechanics. You got to just show that John doesn't have the full understanding to show that he's not an expert or that he's not authority. He may be an authority, but you've got to show that he doesn't have that authority. So you need to cross-examine him. Just you making that statement is irrelevant, whether he's an authority or not. You've got to show that he's not.
He's not a mechanic. He's a used car salesman.
Don't do that, Flat Earther. That's not my point. My point is you got to show that John is not a valid expert. You've got to show that, and nobody's done that. You just ad hominem, you throw a tax at him, you tell him that he's not, all this stuff, but you have not shown that he's not.
Okay, well,
He said they're just obfuscating.
to lead to a
They're
creator,
obfuscating around the point.
right?
That's all. That's all it is a red herring diversion.
Yeah.
It's
He
done
uses
by
thermodynamics
second
to
grade
get to a
playground.
creator.
I was going to say, well
He
done,
uses
Flat Earth.
thermodynamics to get to a creator, and that's the problem that I have with it. So he uses photons.
I
which
don't
obviously
need
we can't.
thermodynamics. I could
Hold
just
on,
use
John.
quantum mechanics and end it.
John, hold on. He was doing a great job of getting us back on track. Go on, Flat Earth.
Yeah, he uses photons and things like that, which we can't validate just through pictures that look like the symbol of Malta and things like that. So it's just
Listen
a
to
belief
him.
to me.
Listen to him. He's
you
going
need to
off the rails.
Hold on, John. He was back on rails for a second. So he basically said you're using the second law of thermodynamics to prove a creator, which isn't the case. So first, can you correct him, and then we can go from there.
Well, it's the laws of thermodynamics, just not the second. Like I explained 3 times before, it's the logical consequence of the laws. 1 second, I'll be right back.
No worries.
Yeah, and the laws only apply to what we know. And you say a creator is outside of those laws, and that's only because you don't need a creator. That's the only reason why.
But then you're into option 1, aren't you? Everything from nothing.
Option 3.
Yeah.
But isn't energy always existed? Always.
Wait a
existed?
second,
It
don't
cannot
bring
be
in another
destroyed
thing. What's the third
or
option,
created.
Slick?
No, Flat and Earth.
Yeah, so
What's
it
the
seems
third
like
option?
Earth just keeps cycling through biogeochemical processes, and it seems obvious to me. But you
What's
guys
the
stand
third
by the
option?
laws,
What was that?
and
What
that's
was
what
that
is
word?
limiting you guys.
What
was that
is the
word?
third option?
But what was the word? Biogeo.
Biogeochemical.
Oh, don't worry about his nonsense he picked up from Google.
Don't worry about
Let's
that.
worry
'cause
about
it's
what's the
scary.
third option.
The third option is that everything always existed. That's the third option.
That's not it. That's a nature option, right?
Listen,
and we
you
already
have-
pummeled that with the laws of thermodynamics. Let me end
No,
this
you-
quick.
You haven't
Let me end this
pummeled
quick,
anything.
because you
just
don't know what the
declared.
laws of thermodynamics are.
That's
Shut up,
natural
Slick.
law.
John.
Right.
All
Let
you
me
did
say
was
one
natural
thing.
law now.
Sorry,
You
we've
just
covered this.
declared a pummeling.
I just covered it.
We've covered it 3 times. What you're saying is option 3 is actually option 1, and therefore
No, it's not.
Therefore,
No, it isn't.
Nuh-uh.
You're rumpusing
It's
me.
not.
You just keep saying no, it isn't, Slit. It's irritating. I haven't actually made any points in this discussion yet, and you're rumpusing the hell out of me. Right. So we've said it 3 times. Option 3, which is it was always here. Therefore, the natural laws become applicable. So then you go straight to that second law and say, oh, it violates it. Therefore, not possible. So your option 3 is actually option 1.
It doesn't violate.
And I keep telling you, it isn't. That is not option 1. That's what I keep telling you. You keep saying it is, and I'm telling you, it isn't.
Great, thanks.
Enlighten us
You
to
Harvard
the
law.
slick laws of thermodynamics, then, please.
Yeah.
I can't enlighten you to anything because as soon as I start talking, you start.
Well, let me ask you a specific question. Yeah.
Yes.
How is it that everything always being here is not everything from nothing?
Because that's 2 different things. Everything from nothing is everything from nothing. Everything always being here is everything always being here. Those are totally different things.
But that would defy a natural law.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
Nuh-uh, Nathan. Nuh-uh.
No, it doesn't.
That's right.
Listen, I'm going to explain why if the crayon muncher can let me. Because energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Crayon
That means
muncher.
energy was always. It was never created. It never had a beginning. It was always.
Is that your explanation?
So this has been
you
answered
pretend the
to.
creator
This
made
has been
it.
addressed. Hold on.
brings
I
us
want a
back
direct
to
address to that
argument.
from John. Slick's made his point. Hopefully we can have it concisely addressed.
It goes against the second law of thermodynamics of entropy.
No, before
It can't have
anyone
always
pipes
been
up,
there.
Stop
John,
laughing.
John, why does it defy the second laws?
Because everything goes from a... Oh my God.
Everything that has an ending that's
Wow.
on its way to the end, i.e. entropy, has a beginning. John's
Yes, and the
sniggering his way
creator-
through it because it's been
the
said
creator
about
violates
4
the first.
times, and now I'm saying it and getting rumpused.
Creator violates the first law. Well, that's because you're a fundy, just like
The
John.
creator
You're on
can't
his side.
violate the first
So
law
yes,
of
I'm gonna
thermodynamics.
rumpus you.
Which comes
You're
first?
agreeing
The
with him.
law
You're not
Hold
being a
on,
mediator.
John, let him address it. Go
You're
on.
just
You're
what?
not being balanced here. You're not in the middle here. You think you're like trying to keep everything
You're
stable.
saying
Alex,
the same thing
Jesus
every
Christ,
time.
I'm letting you have your say, and you're just
The
attacking my
creator
moderation
violates-
skills. Rather
the
than actually
creator
making a
violates
point,
the first
you're attacking
law.
my moderating skills. I've opened the mic for you, shut up, and you take the opportunity to attack me.
But
Do you want
the
to
only
make a
chance
point
I
on this
have-
topic or not?
Okay,
It's the
guys,
only
relax.
chance I had.
Oh,
The
really?
creator violates the first law.
No.
So you can
The first
pick one.
law is a natural
No, but-
law. How can the creator violate it?
You can't create matter nor destroy it,
Oh my God, that's a natural
creator-
law.
which a creator violates.
Hold on, we've
think
got to get
what
stop.
Flat Earth is
Arwen,
trying to
stop.
say, nothing
God, this
can
is so
exist
difficult.
outside of nature.
Jesus,
Is that
Arwen,
correct,
please.
Flat Earth?
Yes.
Arwen, when I say your name
Yeah.
4 times, it doesn't
No,
mean
I like
carry
that.
on talking
I like
all over me. And whoever's talking
Arwen.
now, same applies. Right.
Trying
So
to
we
clarify this
all
point. Sorry.
we're almost
Unbelievable.
at a back and forth that's on track. Yes, we've covered it already. So when you have your example, you are in the realms of natural law. When we go to the creator, the very specific point of it is that it's outside of natural law. So to use a natural law to say it can't happen is nonsense.
Can
To
I
have it
Exactly.
all together is nonsense. You got to imagine it because
Please, can I
it
respond?
doesn't exist.
I can't quite hear Earth
Doesn't
Flattener.
exist.
Just repeat yourself again, Earth Flattener. I don't think I can turn you up anymore. But don't get closer because you distort.
Yeah, you don't need a creator, so that's why it doesn't make sense to apply it with thermodynamics. You don't need it. All you need is what we know, which is Earth.
Right. No, hold on. I want to respond to that. So what Flatten Earth is technically saying is he does not believe things can exist outside of nature.
Yes.
Then you
To
can't
clarify.
explain nature because it goes against the laws of thermodynamics. You're a clown.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Not
but
against the
if-
No. I want-
I'm not hearing you.
Typical. Sorry. Technical issues. Can you repeat that again, John? That's the main point.
I didn't hear you. Say that one more time, Nathan.
That's the main point. God, totally lost in silence. Can you repeat it?
Well, it like I said, it just comes down to the first and second law of thermodynamics. They are natural laws. They hold no sway over the creator because the creator is number two of the second of the two ontological primitives. So he's in a category error. He keeps
No,
on
it's
switching
because you
back and
don't
forth
need it.
between the
I have
two.
an
You don't
important
need a
Right, it's
question.
happened
creator.
again.
Flattener's saying.
I'm
Hang on.
gonna have
You
to
don't need
start.
a creator.
That's exactly Earth Flattener's point.
I
Is
have
that
a
it
really
doesn't apply.
important question to John, if I may.
Go ahead.
Right. So, John, is
Yes.
there anywhere in the science literature that you also use as a source? Is there anywhere stated that things cannot exist outside of nature?
He's already answered that. We're talking about the ontological primitives.
No, but I'm not asking. No, is it specifically stated that nothing can exist outside of nature?
Well, that's the materialist, philosophical, naturalist position.
Right, one of the ontological primitives.
But it's not a law, is it? It's a philosophical, debatable subject.
Yeah, that's a philosophy,
Correct.
naturalism.
Well, there you
philosophical
go.
naturalism.
Things can potentially exist outside of nature, so you can't exclude it per definition.
Thanks, Arwen.
Yeah, but
So
when
for
you
philosophical debate.
hold on, this is the point. When you go outside of nature, you're no longer bound by nature's laws.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist. Of course,
Right.
it doesn't apply.
Right.
But
there's
you
no
can-
philosophical
Hold on,
There's
hold
naturalism.
on,
nothing
hold on.
that-
I've got all the points. I just want to summarize them. I really want to round out the live show at some point. Right. So if you've got two choices, one of them is, and I'm going to use your point 3 in it as well, just so you don't jump down my throat. Everything was always here, which is basically everything from nothing, everything nature from nature. Well, if that is the case, then you've got nature's laws to abide by. The only other option, other than option 1 and apparently an option 3, is to have something outside of nature. Well, if you use the nature argument, you're violating the laws of nature to have an explanation, which only leaves you with one option. Now, you might call me biased for saying that, but that is the conclusion of this discussion. That's where we get to. Your definition violating a law, and the only other explanation being outside of nature, and therefore cannot have your, well, it violates nature as an argument.
Yeah, you require nature to start from nothing, and that's what you're doing. You're backing yourself into that Big Bang corner. I'm saying everything has always been here. If you don't want to hear it, if you want to be deaf to that, that's your problem.
Well, yeah,
You're
we're
just
deaf to
defending
that because
John.
it's the first and second law of thermodynamics
You're
violation. We
just
went over
defending
5
John.
fucking
It's
times.
not. It doesn't violate the first law because matter can't be created
Good
nor
argument.
destroyed. But I don't
Harvard law?
understand thermodynamics,
Stanford?
right? Go ahead and
Stanford or
defend them,
Harvard
Nathan.
law?
Go ahead and say
Because-
everything from nothing again.
I mean,
doesn't
the
have-
best part about this,
Yes, it's just
my
retards.
But
Yeah,
aren't
you're
you
retarded.
entitled?
You're right.
Aren't you entitled to see it your way? Like, yeah, sure.
No,
if you
you're
make
not.
a
I'll be
claim,
back in a few minutes.
well,
Nathan.
you are. 'cause-
No, you're not.
Well, listen. If you make a
Guys.
claim, you need to be able to back it up. But when you're just postulating and playing with ideas, you are allowed to see it your way. Even if people don't agree with you, hold your position. Fuck them.
My issue with this is that
No swearing,
John
please.
says that he uses quantum mechanics not to prove that there is a creator or an observer, but then to just conclude that it's Jesus. Now that is the
Wow,
awesome.
that is a
That's
total
hilarious.
straw man, dude.
No, he said it in his
Yeah.
video. It's hilarious. He says it in his video that it's Jesus.
Yeah, I watched this video, so
Yes.
that's the
It's
part
probably
that I
a
go,
joke.
Whoa, slow
No, it's not a
down. How do
joke.
we
You
go
gotta
from
watch it,
creator
Arwen.
to Jesus The
Argument
first
from ignorance,
guy.
Darwin.
John, is that true?
Yes, it is true.
He's not
Argument
here at
from
the
I'm
moment.
ignorance,
He's just
asking
stepped
John.
away
Go
from the
watch
mic.
it. Go watch it. Total fundy fest on those videos.
Yeah, it kind of made me sad, honestly. I used to like John before then.
Me too.
Okay.
Before he called me a crayon muncher and Elmer Fudd just because I asked a couple of questions about, are we sure about this whole wave duality thing? Hey, are you sure that there's photons? Maybe there aren't photons. Next thing you know, I'm an idiot crayon muncher, and it's the same recycled insults, which is at least change it up, man. And then the fact, like I said, you going from a creator to Jesus Christ, it's just like, what? You could go from creator to anybody. You can go from creator to Allah. You can go from creator to Vishnu. You can go creator to Buddha, whatever.
Can I
That's the
say
part
something?
that bothers me.
Can I say something? I said this originally.
I'm done.
And we're back. I said this originally. The creator argument is different than the Jesus argument. It's a different argument.
I agree.
And John, okay, so
Not to quantum
just jumping on John. Well, I understand what John was doing, but
his name should be Quantum Jesus.
It's a different argument. No, don't do that. I mean,
Yeah, we
we're
all
not
have
getting
different
any-
arguments, and that should be okay. But it's not here, and so that's why I'm defending my position. If we all just said, "I have no idea," I would be great. But you guys are not doing that. You're trying to prove a creator using science, and you can't do that. It's faith-based, and that's okay.
No. See, I sent you a video this morning that you just kind of disobfuscated really quickly.
Yeah, and I replied to it.
Well, I know.
Watch it. Don't reply like you have some backup.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
Don't reply like you have some backup, Paul.
But
this is
okay.
Wait a minute.
Hang on. Why do you think people are having trouble proving a creator?
Because you can't do that. He's outside of the laws of thermodynamics. We can't possibly know that. You can presuppose it.
To creation,
you can presuppose it.
You
can have an antecedent.
You can prove a creator by default.
Yeah, you can't prove it. You can presuppose it. You can say it's an antecedent, but you're never going to prove it.
Isn't
I already did. Quantum mechanics.
No,
You're all whistling
you
past
didn't.
the graveyard anyway.
You can think
Arwen,
you do,
hold on a
because
second.
you just repeat
You're all
everything
whistling past the
constantly.
graveyard anyway. Like I said, to have matter, you must have knowledge of the witch path information. So this is all moot anyway.
Now you're just getting into photons and the stupid double slit
quantum mechanics
nonsense.
is a lot more than photons.
You can have
son.
faith that that's real. It's
You don't
not.
even know what the laws of thermodynamics are. You shouldn't be
Yeah,
commenting on
just
the
keep
subject.
repeating.
You should be picking up cans alongside of the road at best. So you have
You're done,
you
John.
have to
You're done.
falsify
You can
the
pretend
delayed
to make
choice
these
quantum
arguments.
erasure
You're
that's
done.
going to be
I think
presented
I'm
on
gonna
Saturday,
rebaptize
and
this hangout
I
to
can't
the
wait.
creation versus evolution debate.
Are
You're
you
just
still
a
here,
snake.
Nathan?
You're
Nathan,
just a
are you
snake
still
using
here?
deception,
Yeah, I'm
John.
still
That's
here.
all that's happening here. We got your number. We know
Hello,
what you're
Nathan
doing.
Thompson. How you doing?
And Nathan Oakley, like, do you remember
Hold on one
back in the
second.
day when
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
He
Just
said,
1
"Hold
second.
on 1 second."
I'll say it like 10 times and people just ignore me
Right.
and carry on talking.
Right.
Hey, Nathan Thompson, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Long time listener, bro. I love everything you guys are doing. And I appreciate it.
Good to have you. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
Nathan Oakley,
Nathan Thompson,
just really
nice job
quickly,
on
if
the
that's
Netflix video, man. Good job
Nathan
on the Netflix
Oakley.
thing, John Thompson.
Do you remember back in the day, Nathan, when IPS came on and you guys were talking about, God and creation, and he spoke of the infinite and you brought it back down to things just replicate themselves? Do you know where I'm going with that?
I don't, but carry on.
Okay.
Wow.
Because, well, no, I thought it was
I see
sort of
exactly
like
where
one of
you're
those
going.
one of those pivotal things, because beyond the flat earth, sphere earth debate and conversation, we still haven't got to the nut and the linchpin of where we are, where we really come from. I mean, the species itself, the chicken, the egg thing, we still haven't cracked that open. We don't know where we come from.
Yes, we have already cracked
We
it
don't
open.
even know
So I
what
don't know
we
where
even
you've
are.
been.
No, you didn't. Go munch some crayons. You
yeah.
did nothing.
This is getting kind of chalky, guys.
Yeah,
Well, it's
we're
not
whistling
really
past
like
the graveyard. Like I said,
this
they
is
can come
what's
by on
beyond that
Saturday,
question.
right, and falsify the delayed choice quantum
go
eraser.
choose some chalk.
That's all they have
No,
to do.
stop. I like to hear this
trolling,
guy.
flat earth.
That was brilliant, actually. Talk about infinity. When you talk about things always being here, you're talking about infinity. What's infinite? Well, you have
Infinity.
things like
There is
Mandelbrot, you have fractals,
no such
you have
things
people
exist.
coming out of people. You
There's no
literally have
scientific proof of
people
infinity.
coming out of people. Yeah, you do.
People
You have
coming out of people.
coming out
What a
of
scholar
people
you
in a
are.
loop forever.
When's your road
Nathan
scholarship
knows
That's
about
at?
that.
cyclical,
I
and
know
it's
about
not
that.
guaranteed
It's not
Can I make a-
cyclical,
Yeah,
it's
it is
fractal.
cyclical.
It
Can I
goes
make a
in,
comment?
it's
Production.
infinite,
Fractal.
it's forever.
It's
It's
cyclical.
fractal. Really? That's not functional sequence specified complexity. Do you know the 3 types of complexity? Anon.
No,
Hello,
but I know that
Anon.
I saw a fractal.
Fractal. What's a fractal?
Yeah. What's a
People
human
coming out of
being?
people. It's a if you
Come
if
on,
you
guys.
if-
What's a
if-
human being?
Yeah.
You don't even
hold
know.
on.
Not you. Not you.
don't
Anon.
even
This
know
guy
what you
just
even
blew my
are.
mind. I
Hold
like
on, what mind?
whoever you are, sir. Whoever you are, I like you. The idea of infinite and it just hit me. That like and Flatner saying it's
Yeah.
always been here. It's always been here. We always loop out
Always.
of each other.
That's the
It's
first
a
very
law of
easy.
thermodynamics.
Very
Okay, hold on.
And the law of information.
No
violation.
creator
Sorry,
needed. Thanks.
sorry guys. Can I
Wow,
just get
that's
control again for a
brilliant.
second? I'm keeping the live show going because this is great. So let me just get my composure and then hopefully get
Stop
slightly back on
defending
track.
John and you'll be able to end our show.
Shut
No,
up.
I'm gonna keep it going.
Flatner.
You shut up, chalk
Well,
muncher.
credit to
Clown
Nathan.
show.
Oh God.
You think ink, paper, and
He
glue
made the
molecules offer
category
technical
Elmer
instruction
Fudd.
manuals and blueprints? You're a clown.
This is worse than
Elmer
having the
Fudd.
ballers over here.
Right. Let me just try
This
once
is
more.
awesome.
Let me try once more. Right. Let me try. Okay. So Anon has used the word fractal. Now, this is something that I am not experienced in, and I'd like to hear the conversation. So John's just used a whole bunch of terms that make it clear to me in an instant that he knows what he's talking about. So I'd like to know about this. I've used this argument. Clearly, it's been brought up in reference to me and something I've said on an IPS show, which I can't remember. So, great. Let's have this conversation.
Yep. What's fractal?
Mandelbrot. He invented
Yeah,
it,
the
or he
Mandelbrot
discovered it.
set.
It's
You got it. You
basically-
just
it's
looked it up
it's
on Google, right?
Hold
Okay,
It's
so
a
that's
shape.
Shut up,
Oh
chalk
my God,
muncher.
moron.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Go on, Anon. Let's hear
It's
your
a
citation.
geometric shape that you basically can create infinite creations going down, coming from the same the parent, I guess.
Yeah, like
you
happens
just-
in all of life. Yes.
Exactly. It recreates. You can never stop zooming in. You can create infinite complexity from simplicity from one line, and you zoom into that line, and it's more of the line. It's just like watching a leaf. It's like watching a bird.
So fractals
It's like
create.
It's not guaranteed
Okay.
to be eternal, bro.
Okay, I
So
think
fractals
we've got it.
create. How do fractal? What is a fractal?
I just explained it.
No,
It's
you
a
didn't.
concept.
You didn't tell me. You gave us an example of an ever-repeating geometric shape, like a Mandelbrot set. That doesn't
Sure.
tell me
Yep.
what it is. What is it that
That's
creates?
true.
Why don't you tell me?
Okay,
You're
well,
No, it's your claim.
yeah.
John
so-
has no
I already
idea.
told
No,
you.
no,
John
no,
doesn't
no,
know.
let's
Don't
keep it on
bother
track.
defending
Stop.
him. John just doesn't
Stop.
know he's an idiot.
Obviously, he does know. It's just at the beginning. If
No,
people
obviously not.
if you rewind this stream, you'll hear him detail specific terms in reference to fractals. So I know instantly, with no knowledge of this, I'm not going to pretend I have the vaguest clue about this, but I know John knows because he's used the terminology that's vaguely familiar to me. Now I'm going to put my hand up and say, I don't know, but I'd like to, and it requires a bit of humility. Now it's a non that's in that seat. It's a non that's just going to say, I don't really
told
know.
you.
I've used the
I
term.
described-
I've also used the term probably incorrectly. So at this point, have a bit of humility, say I don't know, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Nice
we
one,
all
Nathan.
have an idea of what a fractal is. And the point of his argument is that infinity plus
What is it?
everything being here all for always, it makes sense. So if you would stick to the point, you wouldn't need to define a fractal. But you guys
That's
just
not
act like you
infinity.
don't know what he's talking about.
He said
It's
a
ridiculous.
fractal creates. That's what he said.
Clarifying question. That's a clarifying question.
Right.
Oh,
so this
God.
is
Sure,
we're
Paul.
talking about the ontological primitives. We're well and truly on track. And he said that the creation can come from this fractal. So if we don't know what it means, then it's a duff
come
argument.
from a fractal.
Say
It's
again,
not
Anon.
that it's coming from a fractal.
Can
It's
I
always
ask a
been
That's what
there.
you
clarifying
said,
question?
though. You said the fractal creates and then recreates.
Hold on, we've got a new guest. Hey, Event Skeptic, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah, it creates and
Hey, John,
recreates
Hold on,
from
I just-
ingredients that
hold
always
on.
been on
You have
Earth.
open.
Oh,
Why don't
just
you-
need to say
why
hello
don't
to
you
our new
read the
guest.
wiki
We
page?
are still
Gotta
live.
clarify
We do
before this
still have an
continues.
audience. Several hundred people. Just want to say hello to our new guest. Hello, Event Skeptic. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very good to have
Yeah,
you.
fractals create and recreate from all the ingredients that have always been on Earth. Always.
First and second law of thermodynamics violation. And
Yeah,
where'd you
the
get the
creator
fractal?
violates the
You're like
first
a
law.
parrot.
Where'd you
Can
get the
I ask a
fractal?
question?
Because
No, it's
no, you
outside of
can't.
the
Not
first law.
yet. Where'd you get the fractal? Because to have matter, which a fractal is made of, you have to have information first. And to have information, you need a knower. Simple. Your argument's done. We can go clean the bathroom.
Okay, so sorry. Let's just get charged again. Was that clear? Was that clear?
I really.
It's not information, it's just existence, right?
I really want to hear the guy.
Hold
who
on,
brought
he's
this
looking
whole
for an
fractal thing
affirmation.
up.
Anon!
Yeah, Merle.
If you can't affirm the answer, say it again.
Are you talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, well, Earth Flattener asked a question. He's waiting. There's a long pause waiting for an affirmation. Either John didn't hear the question, or there isn't an answer. One or the
I
other.
didn't hear the question.
Fine. Can you repeat yourself, please, Earth Flattener? Anon, please don't reply.
You don't need information, you just need existence.
So nuh-uh.
You don't need information, you just need things to exist and they naturally
You
attract.
can't have
or
existence
don't
without
attract.
information.
It's a balance.
That's
Everything
scientifically
is in a
validated.
balance.
Okay, Earth Flattener, there is a reply, and I'm going to plug Ballbusters on Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Time and 8 p.m. UK time, because we'll be
2
covering...
p.m. Central.
What is it?
2 p.m. Central US.
2 p.m. Central. We'll be covering the quantum eraser and the double slit experiment. So
Now the delayed choice quantum eraser.
choice quantum eraser and the double slit.
Yeah. It's a hijacking of science. A good fundy fest it'll be.
Yeah, thanks. What's your support?
I've been trying to.
No, that's off the rails, John. Come on, work with me.
No, it is on the rails because he's saying that that existence is all there is. There is no information. Well, that's scientifically falsified by the past 100 years of quantum mechanics, but 5,000 experiments. Probably
Yes or not?
tens of thousands more. I'm just lowballing.
Or maybe you just have a belief.
No, I don't have a belief.
Hey,
I have
John.
knowledge, empirical evidence.
You're not addressing it. Flat Earth, it's valid scientifically. Experiments, all those things we ask for. Yeah?
Photons are valid. You can't see a photon.
Oh God, here we
you
go.
Can see the you can see the
It's
result of a
quantum
photon,
mechanics
right?
is much more than photons.
Light energy.
Hold on.
Hold
on.
It's what? It's white energy? Do we
Hold
have
on.
different answers
This
to-
is a false equivalence. The double slit and the delayed choice quantum eraser are not validating photons. They're validating the cause being the knowledge.
Yeah, they're bypassing the
using
deception.
photons.
They're bypassing. They're walking past the graveyard and not seeing that photons are actually nonsense.
You've just ignored what I've just said. These experiments are not validating
Hey,
photons.
all you do is ignore what I say, so why can't I do it to you?
Because-
you keep saying that I say everything comes
You're
from
straw
nothing,
manning.
which I never
No,
say.
Nathan, you
Second grade
said that
playground.
all of this-
That's what I am, but what are
Nathan,
you?
Sorry,
Nathan,
so you
please.
have just ignored my point
You
and then charged me with the same, which is ignoring your point,
No,
which
no,
I'm absolutely not doing.
Nathan, listen, please.
Oh, Anon's going to
You
rumpus me
would-
while I
Yeah,
try and
he
talk
is.
to Flat Earth. Jesus wept.
Yeah.
So, Flat and Earth, you haven't actually addressed what I've said.
Go ahead, say it.
He didn't
Can I
listen
just
to
say
it.
something,
Say it again.
please? Okay, I'm gonna say one thing, please. Nathan, I've
Now,
heard
are you
enough
Earth Flattener? Then be quiet.
Well, you're
Earth
going to have to
Flattener,
repeat
got
what
a
you said,
question
because
on to
Nathan
you.
right now, he's just being a fundy, so I'm not really
There's a
listening to what you're
question
saying.
to you.
You're just
Answer the
defending
question
John.
from Nathan, please.
Go ahead, ask it again then.
I've forgotten what the question was now.
Good, I'm glad, because it's nonsense. It's bullshit anyway. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
What was the question?
Nathan, I have heard you enough.
You're acting like
I
a
can.
baller flattener.
Retard, seriously.
I
muted?
got
Now
you,
Arwin's
Nathan.
gonna
It's-
kick
it's
me.
a-
Yes.
It's a clown show, man. I
Am I
got you. It's
muted?
hard to keep track.
Can I
It's hard to
Yes,
keep track.
and you're the biggest clown of all, John. Yes,
can I ask
you're
the
right.
question about the
That's
the
not what your
fractal?
sister said.
Oh God. Oh God. Go on, Paul. Hopefully you'll get us back on the rails because I can't.
Okay. Now, as far as I've always understand about fractals, only time I've ever seen them is either on a computer simulation or a mathematical construct. Am I right?
A tree is a fractal.
Okay, it may be.
A snowflake.
Okay. Okay, that's not my point. Now, okay, so you're saying that it's describing reality, correct? Or is that what you're saying? Okay.
Sure.
So
I'm
if you're
saying
saying
that
it,
reality mimics it. Yes, I see it. I see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Fractals is anything that basically gives birth or creates another thing is it's a fractal. Like,
okay. Now you said a second ago that if I understand you correctly, that and if you look at a fractal on a computer simulation, that you can go down and down and down and down and sound deeper, 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 right?
yeah, those are the Mandelbrot fractals, which are mathematical, and it's a pretty little way of drawing, and doing it. But I'm saying, like, I see fractals in life. Anything that gives birth is basically a living fractal.
Okay, but that doesn't. Hang on, Erwin. Don't jump in. Okay, don't jump in. Just because you see something and you can use a mathematical construct to describe something, that still doesn't give you an explanation of its existence or the reason why that law.
That's right.
It sure doesn't, but it's better than Jesus. That's my point.
Well, Theorem of Prophet says that if you break a magnet.
I don't know. I'm very comfortable in saying I don't know.
That's an argument from ignorance.
But to claim that, I believe in, quantum mechanics and then somehow Jesus, that's what that's where I'm off. That's where it doesn't compute.
But see, we've already dealt with that. I've already dealt with that. We've already dealt with that. That's the quantum eraser experiment is a different question. Jesus' existence and who Jesus is a different question. And there's different evidence for both sides
John
of
likes
that.
to connect those two. John goes quantum
there is a connection.
eraser.
There is a connection.
No, he doesn't.
Right, that's where I've remembered the question to Flat Earth now. That's jogged my memory. So the straw man or red herring that was brought up by Earth Flattener was.
They went into a huddle. Nice job, John.
What?
What the hell are you talking about? Are you
I
delusional?
don't know.
Went into a huddle.
Just seems to just want to rumpus this. So the point.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The point was that you were saying photons, not real. It's like, well, that's not what those experiments are about. They're specifically about the ontological primitives. They're directly linked because it's specifically about knowledge of the witch path.
Nathan, I've heard you use the Cavendish experiment and destroy it to claim that, these are just stuff within.
Well, the delayed choice quantum eraser is not the Cavendish experiment. False equivalence fallacy. Stupid one.
It's worse. It's even crazier. At least I can see the goddamn brass balls. I can't even see the photons. And people claim that it's not photons. Some of the smartest minds in our history
I'll
claim
roll with
that
this.
there's no such things as photons.
Okay, I'll roll with that. What we do when people say Cavendish is the first question we ask them is, what's the natural phenomena observed? So feel free to put John to task.
Okay, where is the natural phenomena observed?
Photons, electrons, protons, neutrons, atoms, and molecules exhibit both wave. You gonna let me finish?
What the hell is going on, Anon? What the hell's your problem?
Because they're not observed phenomena. I cannot see a
I didn't even hear a full sentence from him. I didn't hear a full sentence.
Nope, and you won't. I'm not giving it to him. Stop it!
Tune in on Saturday for Ballbusters 7, I think it is, where we'll be covering the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment.
Hey,
John, like to know that guy, right? He doesn't have an answer.
I don't think he does either.
Nope.
As I
Like,
say,
you don't even know what the laws of thermodynamics are.
tune in on Saturday, where
is
answers
the
will be
observed
in
phenomenon?
abundance.
Yes, they
Not an
will.
experiment.
You'll get your chance to come on too.
Yeah, I'll do a proper plug based on that. So yeah, on Saturday we're going to be trying out hopefully Discord with Ballbusters. So in the show we'll release a link in the info box in the same but similar to what we do now. So rather than it being a hangout based show, we've got more control over it being more like a phone in if it's on Discord. So you'll join and you'll be kept on mute so you can't rumpus the holding pen, so it were, and then you can actually ask a question directly to the panel during Ballbusters, where we will cover the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. So feel free to join.
Yeah, you'll cover it like fundies do. Have a
I
nice
have
time.
the link, Nathan. Do you want me to?
I sure would like to know where you see protons and electrons in nature.
Yeah, it's called Lite.
Hey, John.
Listen to that. Listen to that nervous laughter.
Oh
John,
God,
were you in the military?
he's starting to Mystic Meg divine things from my laughter and shit. Have you considered carnival as a vocation?
It's been a fun show. I've got to admit, I've really enjoyed today's show.
It's all
What else can you divine? Here, let me do this. What does that mean? Come on,
Hey, can I get
diviner.
something? Now you're just going crazy.
Yeah, you keep laughing it up
you're
like
divining
ballers
it
laugh
down.
at
You're
us
clowns.
about flat Earth.
Let's
Slap
ask
it up.
Anon, what is the second law of thermodynamics?
Shut up.
Oh
You're
my
appealing to
God.
consensus. Shut your face, idiot.
It's fucking entropy. We've
Hold on, he's
Go
asking Anon.
preach it on Ballbusters.
He's asking
consensus?
Anon.
High pressure, low pressure,
Yeah.
heat to cold.
The only
yada,
person
yada.
that Anon has is me here.
Yada yada. He can only repeat the same thing I've said before, right? What is the second law of thermodynamics?
Slit.
Give me the classical definition.
What? So you're in front of a computer. You can
Yeah,
just read it off the wiki.
yeah.
I'm not.
Hey,
You're
John,
the parrot here, John. You do it. You like to be a parrot, John, so go ahead and do it.
I asked him. You guys are commenting on the laws of thermodynamics. I asked all of you. Slick didn't know what it was. You don't know what it is, IQ Flattener. Now I'm asking Anon. Give us the second law of thermodynamics. He could have Googled it by now. Come on.
No, I know what it is.
Eraser experiment.
Yeah, right.
You have a delayed quantum eraser experiment.
That's not the
Where
second
is
law of
the
thermodynamics.
observed phenomena.
Hold on.
That's not.
Hold on, John. Anon. So earlier on the show, my warped mind just Googled it and said, I'm no expert. Here's the definition I'm reading out. And it was pretty good.
Sure. I can't read right now. I'm not in front of a computer. So sorry.
Why would you need to read it?
I was just about to say exactly that. Why would you need to read it?
What do you mean? You just told me.
You're
that the other guy
commenting
read
on it.
You're painting yourself as a pretender clown.
Yep. Thank
No,
you.
I'm not.
No further questions.
Second what?
You just told me to read something for you and Google it. I'm telling you, I'm not in front of a computer. So
Okay,
how is that?
okay. Let me just give you an
talking about?
equivalence, just because it hasn't sunk in. Do you know what are you a mechanic? First of all, hopefully not.
I'm not a mechanic.
Perfect.
I'm a
Perfect.
data center
Perfect.
guy.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you know what a turbocharger is?
Vaguely.
Perfect. Right. So if you start asserting how the intricacies of turbochargers work, and then someone says, well, how does a turbocharger work? And you go, I haven't got Google to look it up. That makes you a pretender clown muppet.
That's right.
I'm asking you
Lovely.
about an observed phenomena in the being.
Oh, there he goes.
because I
He's
know
going to
that's
red
what that
herring
is.
fallacy
What
away
is
from
the
it.
That's what
observed
I'm
phenomena?
asking too.
What does that have to do with second law of thermodynamics? You're basically taking me off the tangent. All I'm asking you
No,
is
I
what
asked
is
you.
your observed phenomena in your delayed quantum?
No, I asked you. I
choice
tried to give it
eraser
to you guys, but
experiment?
you rumpus me. And
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna have to
rumpus
wait
the
till
hell out of
Saturday.
him. You can't use that as an excuse. I mean,
No,
he
he
might
said
be kind
photon,
enough
you
because
see
we are
photons.
live to
I
go
don't see
through it
photons.
again. But while I'm suggesting that, you're rumpusing me.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yep.
when John comes in and
I
says that
asked
his
you.
turbocharger
No.
is the
We're
best,
not diverting away there, IQ Flattener. I asked
when
Anon
John says
what
that
the
his
second law of
turbocharger is the best and it
thermodynamics
has the
was.
highest
Right?
energy,
Wait,
then I'm going to go
You're
look it
never
up.
gonna get any answers to any questions this
I
week.
told him to look it up to expose him that he didn't know what it was to begin with. Are you following now?
I told you
God, are
everything
you
decays.
stupid.
Heat to cold. High pressure to low pressure. Atoms eventually find an equilibrium. I told you what I think it is. I don't have a textbook verbatim parroting like you do. I told you what I think it
Like
is.
I do, you just parroted me.
No, I
Right?
didn't
That's what
parrot
I've been
you.
saying for the past 8 months on this show.
That's
What
the
the second
first
law of
thing.
thermodynamics was.
If you look
Heat
it
flows
up
from hot to
on-
cold
if-
always. High pressure to low pressure always.
Rumpus
So
me.
you just
Oh, here we go.
parroted
Yes,
me.
parrot.
Right?
And
you just
parroted
parroted
some
me.
other book. It's parroting parrots.
Okay, if those are facts, you just said that heat flows from hot to cold, right? And high gas pressure to low pressure, right?
Unless you have that devil. Unless you have that
entropy
devil in the middle.
increase.
Which
So how
basically
can you
moves the
have
atoms.
the Earth exist forever with entropy at play? Please, go ahead.
Yeah, the devil in the middle that keeps opening and closing the door. I know what you're talking about, Anon.
You have the sun.
Breaking up.
What is he? Is he in the throes of death or something?
No, he's breaking up.
Getting so tedious.
Well, I know one question I had.
No new questions. That's the main point
Okay, no
again.
problem.
It's the
No
main
problem.
point again. So
said
if
no
you've got
problem.
entropy at play, and we've got this ham-handed definition from somebody repeating John, is John's point, which is Anon. Well, if you have that which you describe at play in the natural world, how can you have it always be in existence?
Because you have a thing that we don't know what it is, namely the sun, putting in energy into the system all day.
The sun,
let me
the
break it down
world's
for you.
largest
hold on.
entropy generator in the history of man.
Right.
You clown.
So what you're saying,
that's
Anon,
like
is...
trying-
So, hold on. Anon, you're saying the sun is increasing entropy.
That's like saying that the
saying
gas
that-
pressure
it's not
is
increasing
next
entropy.
to a vacuum. Serious.
Hold on, we've got a contrary opinion. So you're saying the sun is not increasing entropy?
No, it's keeping everything balanced and in equilibrium with the
really?
cycles that are going on with Earth. Yes.
Okay, then let's try my skivvies experiment. What I want you to do
Oh,
is
here we
I want
go.
you
Yes,
to strip
you're
down to
stupid
your
tractor.
skivvy.
Oh, God,
Hold on a
why?
second. Shut up. This is an
sake, can you just
experiment. I
let
want you
Why?
to try. It's a
Why are you
personal.
doing this? I didn't hear a word of
Because
that.
he's just
So
he's
because
just a
you,
parrot.
what you're
He's
doing,
a- he
this is
says
a
his
show.
censoring
Earth
him.
flattener,
Dude,
listen closely. Just
All right,
because
go.
you know what's coming doesn't mean the audience need you to shit all over every word anyone else says. Other people
all I'm doing is what John
might
does,
not.
just shitting on everybody.
Yeah, but other people might not know this argument. So just because you know
yeah,
it
but
doesn't
they
mean
know John shits on everybody's points constantly.
just rumpusing everyone.
You're awesome, Nathan.
Go ahead, John.
Like I said, he said that the sun does not cause entropy. Okay, not a problem. Let's do the skivvies experiment. We want him to have this on video. So what we want you to do is this summer, because it's getting real close to. Where's he from, by the way? Where's he at?
I'm from wherever the sun gives me vitamin D because that's how the sun gives us
where
life.
is he? Where are
Unlike
you? Like
plants, which get life
geography.
from their sun.
Where are you in the
because
States?
it's not increasing entropy.
All right, never mind.
Plants are taking the
we'll
energy of
we'll
the
just
sun
go
in.
to an ideal place. Let's go to Hawaii
You asked
because
me a
the sun gets
question.
pretty hot down there.
Yeah, Hawaii,
So,
where the sun
we
gives
want you to
all
go
the
to
plants
Hawaii,
life,
right? We're going to try
because
this.
everything is
See,
in
he
a
won't let me
cycle.
speak,
Okay, let's go
Nathan.
there.
He
I
just
know,
won't do
he's
it.
just rumpusing the crap out of everyone so nobody enjoys the show.
Dude, let him
So
talk. I wanna
basically,
hear
you're a
it.
bitch.
I haven't heard
You're a
it.
bitch, aren't you? You're not enjoying yourself, so you're going to ruin it for everyone, you little bitch.
I think this is great. You're a
Yeah,
bitch.
go all high pitched like a
You're all
little bitch. Shut your mouth,
Am I
bitch.
getting high
I'll
pitched?
start talking to you like you are then. Yeah, you want to be talked to, you want to be treated like a bitch. Because I'm going to start treating you like a bitch. Shut your mouth, bitch. Yeah, someone else is talking, bitch. We don't want to hear you no more, bitch. Shut up while other people talk, you little bitch.
Bang. It's done. Sorry.
Guys, please.
Even
Can we try
Paula
this?
was asking
Can we
me
try
to
my
do it.
experiment?
I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't get to hear the end of it.
It's his tractor.
I
Let's hear it.
I didn't start the skivvies experiment yet. We just got to Hawaii.
Anyway, go
Go
on.
ahead.
Okay.
So we're in
Can I
Hawaii.
go ahead, interrupt?
Aloha, Hawaii. Happy days.
So
Don't
I
boot
am
him.
bitch, but I'm not
Right?
John.
No. Don't boot Flat Earth. Whoever booted him, I don't care. Just leave him be.
A bitch, but I'm not John's bitch.
Oh.
I think
Guys, let him talk. Let him
Go
talk,
ahead,
man.
John.
Let
Let's
him-
just
I wanna
hear the
the story.
experiment, the Skippies experiment, or whatever it is.
Let's hear it.
I call it the Skivvies experiment. You know, Skivvies underwear, right?
Okay.
The Skivvies experiment, because he said the sun doesn't cause entropy. Okay, not a problem. I want him to go to
I
Hawaii.
never said that.
And can I speak? Thank you. I want him to go to Hawaii, and from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day, I want him to come out in his skivvies, and I want him to lay out in the sun. Now, we don't want him to vapor lock, so we're going to give him some water, and he can have a little food. That's not a problem. But for every day from 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, I want him to sit out there in the sun. Now, on the 5th day, I want you to tell me, has your skin increased or decreased in entropy?
It will have increased in
Thank
entropy,
you.
but the sun
Have a
gives
nice
everything
day.
else life. The sun gives plants
I
life.
never
We
said
eat the
Earth.
plants. Everything is in a cycle.
Can I make a comment?
Sorry, so the sun does definitely increase entropy then?
It does.
I never said it doesn't.
I'm not just.
I think Arwen did.
Was that a yes?
skivvies
Sorry,
cracked?
hold on. Was that a yes, Earthflatter?
Okay, wait. That it doesn't increase entropy in that everything is in a balance. So whatever it is putting in, Earth is taking out.
So your skin's
Or
in a
using
balance, huh? At the
in
end
a
of the
cycle.
5th day. After you get
We
out of the
are-
hospital, we want you to tell us whether your skin increased or decreased in entropy.
And what happens to plants? Do they increase or decrease from
Can
the
I
sun?
make a comment? Can I make a comment about that?
Increase.
Okay. Can I make a comment? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Go on, Paul.
Yep.
Okay. Now there's a
Photosynthesis.
problem. There's a problem with your thought process, though. When we talked about this before, and I'll bring it up, you still come back to you have to have some level of information involved. Like you said, the sun provides vitamin D for the human body. You said that a second ago. Now, the problem is there's a mechanism built into the human body that converts sunlight to vitamin D. So there's a lot of information involved to make that process occur.
Yes, that's correct. And
Okay.
most animals produce it just by themselves.
Erwan, I'm not done. I'm not
Oh,
done.
but
Let's go back to
wait a
point.
second. He has a point, but we're getting off my point. The Skivvies experiment, he still hasn't answered the question.
Yes, it's going to increase our entropy, but that doesn't mean that the
Thank
sun
you.
increases the
Thank you.
entropy
That's all
of
we
the
know.
Earth.
That's all we need.
It
Appreciate
doesn't increase the
No further
entropy of the
questions.
Earth. The sun keeps everything in balance.
No further questions.
Just because
No, it doesn't.
our entropy,
No, it doesn't.
just
The
because
sun
our
does not
entropy
keep it in
is-
balance.
Well, I
Hey,
think it does.
information
I think
keeps
the
things in
sun,
balance.
I think water, Earth, and everything else that's on Earth keeps
Who
everything else
cares
in
what you
balance,
think?
including the
information.
sun.
I think
So
he's
does the
talking
sun
about
regrow
decrease in
mountains that deteriorate?
So he already
from
answered my question, Nathan. So it refuted his prior claim that the sun doesn't increase entropy. So
You can
he's
say
done.
that it does, but it doesn't.
And anyone knows we can shelve the Skivvies experiment. Just leave your car
Just
outside
because it
for like
increases
5
our
or 10 years
entropy.
unprotected and the
I don't
roof,
know. I don't even know
right?
why you're here.
And watch
I
the
was talking
paint
about
peel
observed
off the
phenomena.
roof of your car. That's another example of entropy. In Texas,
just 'cause-
the sun will
Why
eat a
are we talking
tire
about entropy?
right off the
I wanted-
tractor.
that's the
Just
cherry
'cause it
picking I was
increases-
talking
Yeah,
about.
that's the
Yeah,
cherry
cherry
picking.
picking,
That is
right.
the cherry
I want
picking.
to know
cherry
what
picking?
the observed phenomena is for your delayed
picking?
quantum choice eraser experiment.
what's cherry
What
picking?
is
That
the
is
observed
cherry picking.
phenomena? I
Cherry
saw a
picking,
photon and a sister photon move. What? And
Cherry
what's the
picking,
observed
Slit.
phenomena?
Just wait till Saturday and you'll see it. What's cherry picking,
I've
Slick?
already seen it. I've already seen your video, and the whole time I was just like,
What's
"Oh
cherry
God."
picking, Slick?
Your
That the
cherry
sun-
picking is like your skivvies
sorry.
experiment. That's you cherry picking one thing
Oh, that's
and trying to.
cherry picking. So
Are you
define
going to let
cherry
me
picking.
finish? Or are you afraid? Now you
I'm
cherry
shaking my
picking
boots.
at one situation and trying to apply it to the whole law. That's cherry picking.
Yeah, that's an example of entropy increase. That's not cherry picking. That's giving you examples. I given 3.
Right. Well, there's
I mean-
probably thousands. Just because you
Yeah,
picked
there
your
is.
3
That's not cherry picking.
doesn't
is it?
mean
What's
anything.
define
Phenomena.
cherry picking?
Fuck, I wish I could.
Define
Absolutely right.
cherry picking, Slick.
Listen, I don't want to play that dumb game with you.
Yeah, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You are a
I got your
pretender
point.
clown.
Everybody
you.
knows what you're
No
saying,
further
James.
questions.
Don't worry about it, Slick.
Hey, we got major scientific errors on the table I'd like to correct.
Please.
Okay, the first I have clarification is the assertion that plants eat sunlight.
Convert it to photosynthesis. Or they use
Okay, hold
photosynthesis.
on. That's an error. Now, Paul said we use light for vitamin D. What did he say?
I said the vitamin D, your body takes sunlight and processes it and turns it into vitamin D.
False. Both of those are false, and I'll explain. What occurs in both of those situations is the energy from the light is used to convert molecules that already are in the body. The energy is used. It's not converted into another substance.
It's more semantics, I guess, than anything. If it's semantic.
Nice.
So I mean, I'm basically the
Your
body
assertion
uses.
is that light
Transformer. It's a
becomes
Semantic is
something else.
important.
I agree.
That is absolute utter nonsense. To assert that and then say it's a semantical argument is nonsense.
It is.
No, we
it
talked
is
about how
semantical 'cause
semantic is important. So actually, please, can you
Okay,
elaborate
you're right.
on that?
You
Okay,
can't
you're doing
create
fine.
energy nor destroy it, only change it. So how is that not valid, Theo?
All right, pay attention. The light travels from the sun and it hits your body. It then uses the energy, okay, the light energy changes the molecules that already exist in your body. The energy from the light is used to do that.
But how does it apply heat? Because heat is clear energy increased locally, causing more friction that is expressed in heat.
Wait a second. I'd like to get back to Mr. Vitamin D expert here. Mr. Vitamin D expert. So your body uses the energy. Okay, let's say I get a blowtorch, and I bring the blowtorch closer to my leg, right? Now, does my leg, the skin cells in my leg, take that energy from the blowtorch and convert it to vitamin D? So that is more than just energy, isn't it, clown show?
It's not about energy itself. It's about the sunlight itself.
It's about a certain type of energy. Is that correct, sir?
Oh, it's a certain type. So when sunlight hits your body to form vitamin D, stuff inside your body is being altered by the sunlight.
Stuff.
That is what vitamin D is. The
And
light
stuff.
become
What
vitamin
stuff
D.
might that be, sir, Mr. Expert?
Hey, well, hold on.
Why are you so rude?
John, you
Well,
broke up
Mr.
completely,
Expert had
so
to
wait till
correct
everyone stops
Paul.
talking and let John start again.
Mr. Expert wanted to correct Paul, so I want to get Mr. Expert to tell us what his stuff is.
He never claimed to be an expert.
He just said that, yeah, he more or less did and corrected Paul.
John, you're attacking everyone just to have a different
I'm not
opinion,
attacking.
bro.
Listen, he attacked Paul, and
I
Paul
think
had
you're
to
you're
turn
right.
over and say, "Okay, you're right, sir." But what Theo said was incorrect, and I used the blowtorch example.
Oh, and he was trying to explain, and you talked
Blowtorch
over.
is not
I
sunlight.
didn't try to. I didn't.
And there was
He
an
said
ultimate
stuff.
point I was trying to make beyond that.
Analogous to my example.
He said stuff. I want to know what stuff. Please, Mr. Vitamin D expert, please explain to us.
Okay, check it out. I don't know why you're so hostile, but check it out.
I'm not hostile.
When
I was
you
just
eat-
asking.
When
Sorry.
you eat, you cannot get vitamin D unless you take it directly, but your body produces it. How it produces it is it puts the little chemicals from what you eat into your skin. It then waits for the sunlight to hit it. The sunlight hitting it is what catalyzes the molecules into vitamin D.
Okay,
The
what
sunlight-
molecule is that, sir?
The sunlight is the energy used to create the vitamin D.
It's a
Oh, yeah,
catalyst.
that ultimately wasn't my point.
Catalytic reaction. That is what
That's correct.
photosynthesis is within the plant. The plant doesn't convert light into food. It sucks the food up from the ground, puts it into its leaves. The light hits it and converts it into something it can use.
Okay.
There you go, Arwen. We're a plant.
Yeah, and
I
Paul's
was
point
making an ultimate
that it
point. Wait a minute.
hold on a second. Paul's point that process of photosynthesis required information. He was correct. You said he wasn't.
No, that's correct.
That was
Oh,
my
okay.
point.
All right.
The light.
I might
So
have,
do
I
you
might
know
have
what
got, I might
information
have
he
got
was
the
talking about?
details wrong, but that was my point.
So do you know
And
what information he was talking about that Paul was talking about?
The
All right,
body's
what was
plant-based.
what was your actual statement that you said again?
To me,
I just wanted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I said ultimately my point was, I mean, I took anatomy a long time ago. And my statement was, I was basically saying you need basically information is the only thing that can, in a sense, slow entropy and
That's
make
not.
energy useful. That's ultimately my point. Is information is required.
And it's not
Yeah,
the
you
point.
just need existence, not information.
Yeah, we already pummeled that. An hour earlier.
Okay,
So
sure.
go ahead, Paul.
No, that was all. That's simply it. I could make it long-winded and piss off James or Slick and all that stuff. That's simply it. I mean, you have to have information that even like solar energy. Solar is good. Like we have solar panels. We know that this chemical process, when the light hits that, it creates electricity. We know when that energy hits our body, there's information that's required to accomplish that task. So that I'm trying to counteract what Anon and what Flat Earther and what even Slick is saying. Existence does not account for the information. It doesn't account for it.
Okay, information is outside of the natural realm then?
All right.
Yeah,
Ultimately, yes.
information is neither matter nor energy.
All
Doesn't
right.
have chemical formula, structure, charge, mass, momentum, or spin, and it doesn't have millielectron volts, kcals, or kilojoules.
Yes.
If I say, look
Okay.
out, there's a tiger
Yeah,
behind you, that's information, right? So give me the chemical formula and structure for my statement. That's right.
Look out, there's a
So
tiger behind you. Has that got calories?
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously,
Exactly.
it's not a
So
rhetorical
for the person
question.
that was
What's
sorry, go
the
ahead.
stuff involved in that statement? Look out, there's a tiger behind you. What's the energy? What's the calorie count?
How much did that weigh? How much that sentence weigh? It
Right.
must have weighed a lot.
But it's still, what I'm hearing, it's still just a matter of people making claims of what they think they know about information. Nobody really, I'm not finished yet. I don't really think that just because you make this blanket statement what information is, that doesn't make you correct just because you're declaring it.
Well, defeat it. Well, refute it.
Yeah,
Show us
refute
the
it.
chemical
Tell me
formula,
what we
structure,
don't
charge,
understand it.
mass,
I'm not,
momentum,
listen,
or
I'm not
spin
refute. Only thing
of
I'm
the
saying is just
millielectron
because you,
volts or
hold
the
on,
kcals
take
or
it easy.
kilojoules of my statement, which was information.
Just because you're sitting up here making these statements, that doesn't mean that they have any validity just because
Well,
you
they
said it.
do until
Nobody,
you refute them.
I wish you, hush, please. Now, the point that I'm
Refute
trying to
them.
make is, let
Baseless
him go. Go
assertion
ahead.
after baseless assertion you make. That's all you do, Slick.
It wasn't a statement, it was a question. So, well, mine was. So
It's just sharing his experience.
in that statement, which contains information, what's the value you can attribute to it? Can you give it a weight? Can you give it a calorie count? What can you give it?
I didn't really get a chance to make the statement because as I was trying to talk, I keep getting interrupted. Now I basically lost the train of thought.
Hey, so I got a
Oh,
question for you,
goodness
Slick.
gracious. You said that we don't know what we're talking about when mainly you're pointing at me. I love it. So let's go, Slick, me and you. You said that I didn't know what information was. Now shut up. So
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. You don't
Oh
talk to
my
me like
God.
that. You
Listen
got
to
it.
this now.
Listen,
Baseless
I'm not your
assertion
kid.
fallacy.
Now you don't tell
After
me to shut
baseless
up. You got
assertion
it?
fallacy.
Well, you
Or
were,
his wife.
it is kind of ironic that you were telling him he didn't know what
Shut
he
up,
was saying,
Slick.
and then you lost your train of thought. That's
Oh, shut up, Arwin.
Yeah, nobody asked you your
Oh my
opinion. Who asked you
goodness,
to throw in your 2 cents? Now, when
You
you talk
shut
to
your
me, John,
mouth when
you
you're talking
learn
to
how to
Slick.
talk
like
with
that.
respect.
Perfectly fine. I'm not gonna threaten Nathan over that.
Hey, John,
Nothing to respect.
Nick?
You're just a clown.
Should we just
hey,
genuflect?
He's
Timmy, here
threatening
comes
people,
Timmy,
Slick.
the
It's a
friggin'
really
fundamental
bad character
materialist
trait.
to save the day. Hey, Timmy, can you tell us how ink, paper, and glue molecules can friggin' author technical instruction manuals and blueprints? Please, the floor is yours.
Are you able to go off the script at any point in your
The
life?
script. I don't have a script.
Nope,
And even if I
just a
was on
parrot.
script, the script
hey,
wouldn't make any
You know how
sense
many
if
times
others
I've
weren't
heard
on
that
the
over the
same
years,
script.
dude?
So there's your
You know, we
argument
talked
there.
for
John,
2 years
It's a
and you're
train wreck.
still saying the same creation science as when we talked 2 years
Creation
ago.
science as well. Truth doesn't change.
Well, at least
Can I
you're
ask a-
bringing creation science into the flat
That's
Earth. That'll
right.
really make
Creation
it
science.
prove.
Shout out to Timmy
Creation
Osmosis.
science. What's creation science? Is that a no true
What you're
Scotsman fallacy that you're trying to
Second law
peddle
of
here?
Why don't you
thermodynamics.
Or are
guys
we
just
going to look
start
at your
an
pictures
atheist
again?
flat
Your
earther
traveling
group?
clown show pictures, Timmy. You got those
Anyway,
with you?
you guys go at it. This guy just talks over me anyway.
Yeah, right, right. So we're still waiting, Timmy. We want you to show how ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. Anytime you're ready, you can come back on and let us know. You can go out and do your Rhodes Scholar
It's neither
at
here
Romper
nor there.
Room
Really,
and come back.
really, what you need to explain is things like the two celestial points and all of the
Oh,
instruction.
here we go with two celestial points. And the stars are rotating in counterclockwise and clockwise directions, right?
That's why I can't come on and talk to this guy.
Right.
Creation scientists.
Come on,
they have,
Timmy.
like,
I
chips on their
freaking
shoulder, they
embarrassed
date
you
it.
3 years ago. We got
So go
video
ahead.
after video of me pummeling you and that rumpus idiot. Why should I keep on having to do this thing with you? You don't know what science is. Your epistemology is pulling up Wiki. That's your epistemology, along with the rest
I
of
actually
your
never do
ball-tard
that.
idiots.
You obviously don't watch my stuff, so I never do
No,
that.
I don't watch
actually
your
talk
stuff.
about people who do that. So
No,
that's
I
fine.
don't. So, are you going to
John,
tell us
well,
how
you
ink,
probably
paper,
shouldn't
and
make
glue
claims on my work,
molecules can offer
John,
technical
because that
instruction
makes you a
manuals
liar,
and
and you need
blueprints?
to repent to your God. I'm just letting you know.
You know what I'm saying? So we're waiting for the answer to that question. Are you unfamiliar with that analogy? Do you want me to break it down for you?
It's so neither here nor there. So I'm just gonna have everyone move on. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
you're a fundy
that you're
materialist.
continuing this.
You're a fundy materialist. So that is pertinent to
Who
the
said I was a
discussion.
materialist? You don't even watch my work. You're
You
just
did.
actually
You
strawmanning
did.
me. You're
You did.
strawmanning me.
We already know this. You told me that a long time ago. You're a
I
materialist.
said I was a materialist. I
Because you
never said
dogged
that.
me out
because I'm not.
about being a creationist. There's only two choices. You're
Oh,
either a
No,
fundy
get the headache
materialist
from
that's
this
an atheist
annoying
or an
discussion.
idealist. Only two
Guys,
choices, son.
good luck
So
with
either
this.
you're a creationist. Are you telling me you're a creationist?
That's a false dichotomy, guys. Just
No,
FYI.
it's not. What's the third choice?
Yeah, so he thinks he
Everything
gets to
else.
declare.
What's
He
the third?
thinks he
We're
gets
not
to
asking you,
declare how
Slick.
many
What's the third
choices
choice,
there are.
Timmy?
Let's
You
slow
got
down.
nature
Let's actually
versus
talk about
intelligent
this.
design. What's the third choice?
Always existed is the third
We're
choice.
not asking you, Slick. We
But
already
I
dealt
told
with your
you anyway,
nonsense
John.
before.
I told you
Stay out of the
anyway.
conversation. Timmy, what is the third ontological primitive? That's what I thought. No further questions.
Slick, can I ask you?
No,
a
I'm
question?
actually trying to clean, and I already said, go ahead, Nathan. I'm actually just listening, guys.
Yeah, hey Slick, I think you're awesome.
Why
bro.
would you
You're
come
so
on
awesome.
here and just listen?
Hey, I've been
Can't you
listening
listen
for a long
outside?
time. Please, bro.
And Timmy's just coming in cold.
Yeah, just come in and take up a slot, right? Because you're a clown show. Answer the question. How can ink, paper, and glue molecules author technical instruction manuals and blueprints?
They can't.
How does
They
the
can't.
North Celestial
How
Point and
does-
South Celestial
And how
Point
does
work
that,
on a flat
do you
Earth?
know the analogy? That's ribose, nucleobases, and activated phosphates creating DNA on its own. We want you to show that using the second law of thermodynamics. Specifically, I want you to show that using Gibbs free energy. Do you know what that is? Delta
Why are
G?
you asking these
Do
things?
you know
of
what
me?
Delta G
Seriously.
is? That's not a disco
I'm
band
not
from
even
the
making
70s.
any
son.
claims against those. That's
So
what's
let's
funny.
start getting into the second law of thermodynamics. We'll bring Slick in because we want to know his knowledge of Gibbs free energy. Right?
Just anyone who looks at creation science, they always go on about second law of
Creation science?
thermodynamics and
What
entropy
science?
and
That's
evolution
a
and
no true
stuff.
Scotsman
This
fallacy.
is
There's just
this
science.
has been debunked in the great debate for years.
There hasn't
so.
been debunked. What's been debunked?
Let's walk through it. Let's walk through it. If it's being debunked, let's walk through it.
Yeah, walk us through it, Timmy.
Walk us through it. Let's go part by
I
part.
got to do dishes, guys. I'm going to listen for a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to do dishes. You're a Sally. Go back under the rock where you crawled out from. Slick.
Because I
Let's
do
move to
dishes.
Slick. Let's move to Slick now. Mr. Slick, Mr. Second Law of Thermodynamics, can you explain what delta G is? That is Gibbs free energy. We want to get into that.
Is this another one of your little cherry pick things that you try to
Cherry
throw on
pick,
people?
yeah, Gibbs
That's all
free
it
energy
is.
is a cherry
Listen,
pick with the
I
second
don't
law
play
of
your cherry
thermodynamics.
pick games.
You are a
I don't
clown.
play your I don't play your cherry picking games.
Come on, what's Gibbs free energy, son? since you're an expert on the second law.
Hey guys, this funny Christian's making us flat earthers look bad. So we need to
Yeah, us
about
flat
that.
earthers. You're a flat earther.
Yeah, flat earth means Americana, non-NPC.
You're a flat. No, you said us flat earthers. Are you a flat earther now, Timmy?
Yeah, yep. If you watch my latest, my first video on Tim Osmond channel, yeah, I say that I'm a flat earth proponent now. Yep.
Yeah, right. Okay, what's your evidences for a flat earth?
Oh, there's none, dude. Come on, man. I got so much evidence for the
There
sphere.
we go,
But hey,
clown show.
I like where you guys' minds are at, okay?
Yeah, you do. Here we go with the incoherent color commentary from the peanut gallery, right? You got nothing, Timmy, except for your celestial points and your stars spinning in opposite directions. Of course,
No, actually,
opposite
obviously
is
you
the
don't
freaking
watch
direction.
my work. I actually did observations with GPS, 2 different GPS over the Bonneville Salt Flats. I've been to the Antelope Island many, many times doing observations.
Wow,
So
that's
really what we see
astonishing.
out of
What
your
an
channel is
achievement.
just
Hold on,
rhetoric. It's funny
hold on,
Christian
John.
rhetoric and never any
Okay.
observations.
So what have you done? I'd love to hear about it.
What have I done? You've
Yeah,
seen some of the stuff I've done.
I watched a little bit of your live stream that you did with what's the guy's name? The guy with the calculator.
Jesse Kozlowski.
Bislin.
I want to. I want
my
to know
bad.
if quantum thinks the body is qualifies as delta G.
Hold on a second. We're just with Timmy. You can ask me that later.
Huh.
Timmy,
All right.
what's your scientific
John,
evidence?
no. Sorry to cut you off. Timmy's gone out and done stuff, and I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually, with all these data points that we have thousands of them, and really you can just use 3 to actually find the radius of the Earth. We've actually calculated the radius of the Earth to 0.5% accuracy using Cartesian coordinates XYZ from GPS.
Okay.
GPS is real. It's actually very, very accurate and is used worldwide in many applications.
Do you have scientific evidence?
No, this is
Scientific evidence.
So this is.
Yeah.
Do you?
So just tell us what you've done. So you've gone to geodetic surveying points, and what have you done from there?
Well, we did the survey points just kind of really because he's a surveyor. He's into that kind of stuff. But really, the big thing is having 2 different $20,000 GPS units on the truck, going from mile marker 47 all the way to Nevada, which is the it's the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's very, very level to the Earth. So when you look over it, it looks very flat. But when you take a drone, you do camera work, you do the GPS, it all matches up to a sphere.
Well, that's settled.
But what did you do? What did you actually do?
It's settled for me, Nathan, and really I don't care to actually change anyone's minds here. I mean, it's okay. I'm a flat earther, like I said. We can believe what we want, guys, because we are Americana.
You're a troll, dude. You're not an earther.
I'd like to know what you actually
You're here
did,
to troll.
though. What did you actually do?
Been on my channel before, Nathan. He's just hot air, bro. He has nothing. Just
No, he's not.
Except I have hundreds of gigabytes full of.
Okay, I'll level with you.
So Nathan goes out to Pontchartrain, doesn't actually even look at where Soundly's looking. He's looking at the side,
Don't take the
zooming
bait,
into
Tim.
the bridge. He's
Don't take the
also
bait.
he stops the live stream as the boat's starting to go over the horizon. So it's quite interesting what
Sure.
Nathan produces.
Before you two get into it, I don't mind if you do, but I know you've gone out and done stuff, and I'm trying to lead you to telling us what you've done, Tim.
Well, we brought an auto level and the GPS units out to Antelope Island. So I already explained, I don't know why you're continuing to ask me this, but I already explained the Bonneville Salt Flats part.
Timmy, who was
So
we?
also
Who
brought
did
an
you?
auto level, my D3200, many different lenses, tons of
Who's
stuff,
we,
tons of
Timmy?
equipment out there
Who'd you
to
bring with?
Antelope Island, did observations.
Okay,
So,
so you took an auto level, and what did you do with it?
we went to different points and basically leveled the auto level, and you can look through the scope and see mountains that are 85 miles away, that you're basically up into the white caps of the mountains when you're level, even though you're about a couple 100 feet up only.
Timmy, you said we. Who's the other person?
I'm surprised that you don't know that. Sai.
No, I don't.
He did say he answered on this
40-year
stream.
surveyor, dude.
He did answer
And
for the
he's,
panel.
He's a surveyor? Okay.
Jesse Kozlowski, right?
No further questions.
Yep.
Okay, so
Jesse Kozlowski, I hammered him about 3 years ago and is on his own channel. It was a friggin' train wreck.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure. I'm sure you can
So-
also
so
tell,
is this
like you do about
scientific
science,
evidence,
tell
Timmy?
people about
Is this
science. You can probably
scientific
tell a
evidence?
40-year professional surveyor about surveying
Is
too,
this
right?
scientific evidence?
It's not, but I'd still like to know what he's done. So he's taken
He's
an
a
auto level.
surveyor.
He's taken an auto level. That's what I've got so far, and I don't know what he's measured with it.
Okay, so you're being pedantic, obviously, Nate. So
No, I'm
just
leading
gonna let
you so that you tell the audience.
He really wants to know, by the way. Just walking through it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I already did. I already told you about the Bonneville, what we did out at the Bonneville, and then I also said how much equipment that we've done there. Do you want the actual data? Do you want what do you want?
The
I've already
method.
told you what we did.
you've done
What
there?
did you
What
do
does that mean?
with the equipment?
I already told you that. I already
Oh,
told
did
you. So I'm not going to answer again.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm totally in the dark, and either I'm deaf or you haven't explained it.
Everyone's in the dark.
Yeah,
Anybody
he has
else
a bunch of
understand
equipment
what he's done?
there.
Anybody else dilute down his methodology so I understand what Tim's done? Anybody?
He has
Yes.
a lot
No
of
idea what he's done.
id stuff.
Yes,
I
there's
have
a bunch
no
of
idea.
equipment that he's done there.
Yeah, that's what I got. There's a bunch of equipment that you've done there, auto level, and all the equipment, and you've done at the Bonneville Salt Flats. What you said was, I've done at the. That was the term you used. I've done at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Done what at the Bonneville Salt Flats?
It. He's done
So I'm
it.
surprised that you're obviously being pedantic, but anyway, like I said, we had a truck. We put the two $20,000 GPS units on it, one at a time. We did 2 routes.
20,000.
So these
Oh,
are
God,
actually
no,
leading,
no,
okay,
don't
go
do
ahead
this,
and interrupt
please.
me because he
God.
wants to hear me, but then we have interruptions. So anyway, these get XYZ raw ECEF Earth-centered Earth fixed coordinates. And so when you actually map those out, you start to see that there is a curve. Not only that, it actually does match with the spherical Earth. I can pull up Walter Bisland's model, but I'm not really sure what you guys are getting at. We brought out the auto level, we brought out cameras, we brought out drones, all kinds of shit out to Antelope Island and did observations with it. So, I mean, really,
That's really nice.
pretty much everybody on this channel has never come close to doing anything like that.
We really appreciate all your efforts and all your great
Well,
footage.
is that
Tim.
the white paper version? That was really detailed.
That was
Thanks.
good. That was good. I'm a globehead.
I'm not here to convince mostly you, Nathan, because you don't learn from your mistakes. You continue to make them.
Yeah,
and basically,
there
you
we
are
go with the
Nathan Oakley
philosophy.
parrots.
We don't need ad homs. Tell us what
Which
you did.
is interesting. Oh,
with
that's an
your
ad hom?
equipment
Please,
done there.
please tell me how that's an ad hom.
An ad hom fallacy.
How is that an ad hom?
I don't understand what's
Well,
going
you're
on.
attacking his person, not the argument.
Well, let's just get clear. He's talking
Really?
to the other Nathan on the
Okay.
panel,
Yeah, you
saying
are.
he's a just so that it's clear. The other Nathan on the panel is being accused of parroting me by Tim. I don't really understand. I don't know Nathan Thompson, so
He's saying affirming the consequence instead of affirming the consequent. He's basically using all the fallacies that you got from me and you got from John Stunja here. And so he's implemented those, but he does it incorrectly. So he makes himself look like an ass because he doesn't understand philosophy, logic, reasoning, anything like that.
Or he just says the word
not
wrong.
Stunja,
Is that
it's
correct?
Stunya.
He just
Get it
says the
right.
word
He doesn't
slightly wrong, and
understand what
suddenly
he's
he doesn't
talking about
understand any of
because
it.
he just listens to this. and
That's a
thinks
really
it's
great argument.
Oh,
man.
and he's not arguing with you. He's talking to the other Nathan on the panel, and this is my way of leading him into that argument with the other guy, because it might be that when he's talking about affirming the consequent, presumably, I don't know, as a vague idea, it could be something like him assuming we've got hemispheres when he talks about the stars. So, in other words, if the example's valid, who cares if he says consequence rather than consequent? It makes no odds if the example's sound, but hopefully Nathan Thompson will tell us that.
Exactly my point.
I'm here.
Totally agreed.
Yeah, Nathan, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm going not Oakley, but Thompson. And
Okay.
basically what we have here is we had Quantum Racer come in and myself inject a lot of basically things into Nathan's mind, Oakley's mind. He then started pairing it for years now. And so Nathan is such a fundy fan of this show that he just parrots Nathan.
It's his
Thanks for your
show.
take.
Talking
Well,
to a
thanks for
different
that take.
Nathan.
His
Hold on,
show,
Owen.
what the
Owen.
fuck?
He's talking to a different Nathan.
Yes, Thompson. Yep.
Sorry.
You cat's got your tongue.
What's your
Thompson?
point?
Because I call you out on your law.
Thompson, let's have a debate today. Let's have a debate where you bring evidence for a flat Earth and I bring evidence for a sphere Earth. Let's see where that goes, bud.
All right, proof the Earth is rotating. Ready, go.
We actually had this conversation just 2
What?
days ago,
So
and I
I thought
actually
you
have a
said you
video
were gonna do
going
it here.
through this. So
You just say
I
you
can
were
go
gonna
through
do
it
it here.
again about the fiber optic gyro and the results therein. Also,
Oh
retrograde
yes,
motion of
please,
planets,
please,
the
go
two
ahead.
celestial points. There's an axis to the Earth. Yeah.
Please go ahead. No, fiber optic gyro. Let's stick with one claim at a time. Please go ahead.
Okay, so the data that I gathered from Bob and Seventh Day True Seeker and all the people that were involved actually shows that they were trying to figure out how to kind of pitch the 15 degrees rotation away. And so they actually have all the data there on their XYZ Cartesian coordinates that you can actually put in with the sign of his latitude and get 15 degrees per hour. Now, this kind of begs the question and calls into question things like the sun not changing in angular speed throughout the day and actually maintaining that 15 degrees per hour.
Stop. Stop. One claim at a time. You said the Earth was spinning.
I'm
Your
gonna
proof
keep
was the
claiming,
fiber optic
I don't go
gyro.
by your rules, John.
Right?
You're a nobody. You're a creationist scientist.
You're a fiber optic gyro.
Come on.
You're
Tim,
a
you asked
fundy
for this.
materialist.
John, Tim, you asked for this. So I agree. One claim at a time. Fine.
Fiber optic gyro. Is that scientific evidence?
Did I claim it was?
You said fiber optic gyro. You said you had evidence that it was rotating. Now, is the fiber optic gyro
Okay, so did I
scientific
say
evidence?
scientific evidence, John?
Well, no, but you cited.
No, hey, I asked John, Nathan. You don't have to come in for him.
No,
but
you cited. Go ahead, tell him, Nathan.
Yeah, you cited a source, which was Bob from Globebusters, right?
No, it's actually a collection of messages from many people.
Well,
I'm sorry, you said Bob from Globebusters, sir.
You did specifically name somebody, though, didn't you, Tim?
Yes, Bob is all throughout that, and Seventh Day True Seeker.
Excellent.
And,
so we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Excellent. That source claims it's science, Tim. Did you realise that?
I don't care.
Oh, well, your source that you're citing says it's science, my friend.
So,
And-
Nathan, please, my screen is sharing. Are we ready?
So anyway, this
no.
could be
But we will
fit
be.
into a scientific method if we really needed to or wanted to.
Yeah, we need
but
to.
Really, the onus is on you guys to actually refute.
No, the onus
that
is on
data.
you.
You're
You made a claim.
claiming this,
We're
Tim.
doing scientific evidence.
This is your claim.
Yeah.
What's
is my
funny is
screen
you guys
sharing?
demand scientific evidence from Globers, but have absolutely none for flat Earth. You guys don't even devise.
Well,
any
we
kind of
haven't made
scientific
any
method
claims
for
that we
flat
have
Earth.
scientific
cited
evidence.
You guys
a
just continue to
source.
talk about the
Sorry,
scientific
Tim.
method, but
This is
never
your
want to
claim.
prove it.
It's your
Never.
claim. Your source claims it's science.
Your claims the Earth is flat, and you
Yeah,
have like
well, we're
800
talking
shows
about the
saying
fiber
that.
optic gyro. You've claimed a source. You've told us what the source is. They say it's science. Let's test it. Let's see how sciencey it is.
I don't care. Ask them for the scientific method. They obviously.
Your claim.
claim.
Your claim. Right.
was
The
your
argument
claim,
isn't
Tim.
the citation. You're making the argument, Tim. The citation's not the argument. That's you, my friend.
And you're trying to basically make me say that I said that it was a scientific evidence. So then
Your
we're gonna get
source that
into,
you
let's
cited
put it in
for your
scientific method.
argument
This is a
says
game
it's
you guys play.
science. You cited it. Use a different source for the fiber optic gyro next time, because this one says it's science.
How about a gyro compass? You can look up a gyro compass, and
Oh,
it's actually
God,
a
here we
mechanical
go.
gyro,
Obfuscation.
and it does have a 15-degree deviation.
Feeble
as well.
obfuscation. You're not
So-
supporting your claim, Tim.
So we
What do
relinquishing
you
the
want?
fiber optic
How am
then.
I to support it? Do you want me to get a fiber optic gyro and do a live stream with it, John?
What for?
Or
No,
what
we
do you
want
want?
you to go through the scientific method right here.
You want me to show their data, and then you can
No,
find out how that
scientific
works
method.
on your flat Earth conception, or what do you want me to do?
Scientific method. This is what I want. Is my screen sharing?
Yes.
All right, this is what we want. Natural phenomena observed, please, with your fiber optic gyro.
I'm not going to play this game with you. I already told you that.
Oh, they got the old cue card out. They give it because everyone says this now. We're not going to play my game. My game is the scientific
because
method.
you're
It's
not
mine.
not setting up anything scientific for your
It's
claims,
not
dude.
mine. I'm not making a claim. You are.
You're allowed to talk about the quantum eraser experiment.
I will.
and say
I
that
will
the Cavendish
Saturday.
is fake or whatever. But
I will
the quantum
Saturday.
eraser experiment doesn't happen
I
in
will
nature. It's
Saturday,
made
but
by
we're not
man.
on that. Quit trying to obfuscate the point. Natural
No,
phenomena.
I'm just
observed
saying that
with your
you
phenom-
don't.
with your
You're going to hold
fiber
me to a
optic
set of
gyro,
standards,
please.
and I'm not gonna play along because you're
Fiber
not.
optic
You're not held to
gyro
any
claim.
standard.
You claimed it.
We're
Let's
not
go,
held to
Timmy.
any standard, John.
Let's
here,
go, Timmy. This
okay?
is the standard scientific method. You
I'm not
claimed
playing
it.
your
Let's go.
game. Why do you
Yes, you
continue to
did.
think I'm going to jump through your hoops, bro? Why
It's
do
not
you
a
think
hoop.
that?
It's a scientific method.
What's wrong with you?
It's not a
Then
basketball
why are
hoop.
you
It's a
here?
scientific method.
Oh, so this show is about jumping through John Stunge's hoops,
No,
religious
it's not.
man?
It's Stunya. Get it right. Stunya, right? And this is not mine. This is the scientific method.
Oh,
You claimed
Stunja. It was
scientific evidence from Bob with his
Stunja.
fiber optic
Stunja.
gyro. Stop over talking me and support your claim. Or should we just categorize you as your average village idiot with baseless assertions with every other breath?
Tim, I agree with you on this one.
You would.
Well, it's nobody wants to jump through his hoops. This
Why do
isn't
you
what
agree with
Nathan's
him,
show was
Slick? Let's
originally
move on
about.
over to you. What's your
Unfortunately,
rationale
it's
for
changed into
agreeing with
something
him?
else.
Well, hold on. No. Before we go on to what's the rationale for agreement in that regard, what's the standard of evidence that you're providing then in this fiber optic gyro, Tim? If it's not scientific evidence, what is it?
It's evidence.
What kind of evidence?
Evidence.
Evidence of what?
Evidence of the Earth spinning.
But no, it's not.
Oh. So it's just make believe. It's just a story.
Hold on, Owen. It's
Sure.
not evidence that
Just
the
like
Earth
your
spins,
looping
Tim.
model, just
Tim.
like your Pac-Man son,
Tim.
bro.
No, that's conceptual.
I knew it. Arwen, thank you so much.
Hold on, Arwen. He's going to try to bait you, Arwen. Let's
Yeah, of
get
course.
Timmy to
This is
support his
tactic,
claim.
Arwen. Just drop a little
It's a
bait
game for
so
you
we can
guys.
have a
I
little
don't really
cross
know why you're
argument with
doing
you,
this, people.
rather than listen to the
Nah.
point about why the fiber optic gyroscope does not prove the Earth spins.
What?
Yeah, right on. So, the fiber optic gyroscope is alleged to prove that the Earth spins. In order for that to be the case, it would be a demonstration of 2 reference frames. Would you agree with that,
Here we
Timmy?
go with Coriolis. You guys reading semantical definitions out. What a joke, man.
Right, Timmy. So, does it prove it with 2 reference frames, or do you not understand how this proves the Earth spins, my friend?
By the way, I got Nathan Thompson to leave.
That'd be
That's
a non-answer. So, I'll ask it a third time for Timmy, who's about to get raped again. Let's be honest. So, Timmy, let's ask it a third time. Does this proof of Earth spin require 2 reference frames? Yes or no?
He went on mute. What I was agreeing with Tim was not on his thing about the globe, but the fact that John is always ready to hold somebody to task with the scientific method. But I'd like to see him do that with his observed phenomena as far as this quantum eraser thing.
We will on Saturday.
I'd like to see you write that up.
We will. Tune in Saturday. Ballbusters, number 7, double slit, and delayed choice quantum eraser. Be here or be sphere. Anyway,
yeah, so
Tim.
you weren't agreeing with Timmy, right? Is that what you're saying? You said you agreed with Timmy, but you're not agreeing with Timmy.
Listen, I just explained it to you. I agreed with Timmy only on this one point. You're always ready to hold somebody to task and get your little graph out with the scientific method. But when it comes to you doing it, all of a sudden you're not ready to do it. You want to wait until Saturday. You want to wait till ball busters. Why don't you do it now?
I've already done it hundreds of times.
Let me clear that up. Right. John has done that demonstration, I think, to my knowledge, 3 times. Once on Cathexis's channel, twice on my channel in different formats. He's about to do it for the 3rd time on my channel. He has absolutely done it before. He's about to do it again with an invitation to the public to challenge him this time, as opposed to it being a straight presentation.
To be on mute.
Right, and that's great. But just real quick, since we're all here, what's the observed phenomenon? Just state it.
Sorry, Slick, you're going to completely hijack this point. So Tim's come with...
No, that's all right. I withdraw the question.
I agree.
It's literally... We've got to the point where Tim's come on, asserted he's got proof the Earth spins. A fiber optic gyroscope. His source says it's science.
Evidence.
So we've asked him to provide the scientific validity because his source says it's science. Now, I've said, okay, if it's not science, then how does it prove the Earth spins? My question being, does it require 2 reference frames? And I haven't got an answer.
No, Nathan, I agree with you. I'm not agreeing with Tim on that. That's not what I'm agreeing with Tim on.
It's
I'm
not an
agreeing
agree or
with Tim
disagree.
on the
It's a
fact.
question. It's a question. Does it need 2 reference frames or not? And I don't know. Tim hasn't told me how this marvelous proof of Earth's spin works. I'm asking. Maybe it needs 2 reference frames. Maybe Slick needs to answer for him. Maybe he's afraid of Tim's answer.
The thing is, I'm not.
Yeah, maybe you're afraid of Tim's answer, Slick. Hint, hint.
I'm not-
Shut the
Someone
fuck
said,
up.
I think Osher said that I removed Nathan Thompson. You can look at the back chat, and actually, it looks like Arwen's been removing people. So just FYI.
Oh God! Just
So,
FYI.
does this proof of
FYI,
Earth
the
spin
question.
require 2 reference frames, Tim?
Oh, hey guys, I already told you I'm not going to jump through your hoops.
We want to know how it proves Earth spins.
No, I'm good.
Oh, right. So I'll just make a declaration. Tim knows it doesn't prove Earth spins. He knows. He's just a liar. He's asserted it proves Earth spins and just expects you to believe him.
Yeah, but with his equipment done. That's all he's got. His equipment done.
Well, the point still is you guys just basically have rhetoric and hot air and continue to, and actually don't go
That's
into
what
the
you
deep
have.
stuff. Now, my channel
We
actually,
don't want to
I
listen
do
to your
stuff,
color
so
commentary.
That's where
because everyone
I am
in the
more
audience
elite
just
over
listened to
people
you
like John.
and watched you
And
embarrass
he
yourself
just keeps sober
in
talking
front
to
of
me
him.
anyway.
You have
so
nothing.
That's why I'm not talking to him.
Yeah,
Later,
you're
guys.
a horse's ass.
Oh, he's
Your
gone.
epistemology
Yeah, I
is
would
from
drop
Wiki.
2 at the point that we point out that your proof requires 2 reference frames. That would be a functional Earth-based Coriolis effect. Something that would mean plane travel had very drastically different effects. Hey, Tim? But you don't want to concede that. You just want to come and assert your, what's the word? That's the one. Fundamentalist belief in this garbage. Earth doesn't spin, Tim. And if your fibre optic gyroscope is to be asserted that it proves Earth spins, it absolutely requires 2 reference frames. Pity the planes don't demonstrate those 2 reference frames. We only have 1. Singular. According to the dickhead globeheads that think that the Earth and atmosphere travel together. Yeah, no Coriolis effect. No 2 separate reference frames. No proof of spinning Earth from a fibre optic gyroscope, Timmy. But bye-bye. I'm sure you'll play your victim card really nicely.
Timmy already knows it. We went over this 3 years ago on Jim Panda's show with me, Cathexis, on the show where I explained this to him, the same argument that we have, Nathan, by the way. And Timmy was laughing at Jim for not understanding it. Timmy knows it. He knows it.
These people are merchants of nonsense.
Yeah. Hey, one quick one before you finish up, Nathan. I was doing something last night. Do you want to go? Because Timmy did mention something. He was talking about Somley's Lake Pontchartrain, you know, the Causeway Bridge. Right?
Sure.
You brought that up. Can you see my screen right here?
No, but I'll bring it up for the audience. You've got your Google Earth, yeah?
Yeah, I was just messing around last night because I heard the Lake Pontchartrain argument, and of course I have a whole spill on that argument that's ridiculous anyway. But I thought I'd just screw around on Google Earth, right?
Okay.
Let's take a look here. So this is the causeway. Is this the bridge? Soundley's Bridge? This thing right here.
Yes.
Let me get closer. Is this the bridge? Let's see. There's cars on it and stuff, right? Is this the one he's talking about?
One of his observations, yes.
Right. So he said that there was a curve, right? You could observe the curve. Is that what he said?
Claiming you can detail the effects of atmospheric conditions and perspective as Earth curve, yes.
No, he said it was curving. So what I did, I said, okay, boy, if it's curving from one side to the other, then that means the elevation from one side to the other would be different, much different, correct?
Absolutely.
There would be drop, correct?
Yeah, that's what they claim. It's physically curving.
Okay, let's go over here. This is the south side of the bridge, right? Can everyone see my little elevation thing down there? Maybe not. It's too small, right?
It might not be on page, actually. Just rearrange the... no, it doesn't show up on the screen share. Unless it's when you hover your mouse. Does it show up when you move your mouse over? No.
Yeah, it's over here.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
Well, let me just say this, and everyone can do this. I'm putting the little hand over the base, you know, the ground where the bridge arrives, right here. It says 5 feet over here. 4 feet, 5 feet, somewhere like that, right? So it's 5 feet. So guess what I'm going to do? Did anyone guess? Anyone guessing? Is anybody out there?
No, everyone's silent.
I'm going to put,
I
and
just
this
don't
is
care
where
about
the
your
bridge
stuff.
starts on the north side, right? I'm going to put my little hand over here. Guess what the elevation is right here on the shore? Do you want me to get down there a little further? So basically, this is the shore on the other side. Guess what this elevation is?
4 feet, 5 feet.
3 feet. So let me ask you a question, tickle me soundly. How in the world can this bridge be curving and have the same elevation on both sides? How can that happen? How can this side be 3 feet elevation and this side be 4 feet elevation, basically the same? How can that be? How can that be? Anyone on the panel?
Well, it's because the Earth is obviously unobservably flat, John.
Thank you. No further questions.
I'm going to round out this section of the live show unless anyone on the panel's got anything to add. There will be an after show. No? Fair enough. With that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel, if I could get my tongue around it, for making today's debate possible. Also a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you in today's live audience for tuning in, smashing the super chat, liking, sharing, subscribing if you've not done so already. If you'd like to keep yourself occupied after this live debate is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Just click a few buttons. There we go. If you are watching on Nathan Oakley channel, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Once again, a massive thank you to all of you in the audience. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!